Sean Jones, Georgia Tech was unbeaten heading into its November matchup with then #1 Virginia. With the defense making the big plays in the second half, the Yellow Jackets ended Virginia's national title hopes with a last-second victory. And with that win, Georgia Tech began its ascension in the polls and dreams of a national championship of its own. In their way today stands the Nebraska Cornhuskers with a bone-crushing defense and that always potent running game. Today, Georgia Tech attempts to turn their dreams of #1 into reality as they take on Nebraska in the 45th annual Florida Citrus Bowl. The Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. 105 teams play Division 1A. Georgia Tech the only unbeaten, and to stay there, they'll have to whip Nebraska, which is wearing all white for the first time since 1966. You are looking live at a sold-out Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida on a simply glorious afternoon. Nebraska and Georgia Tech. Happy New Year and welcome everybody with Dick Vermeil and Mark Jones. I'm Brent Musburger. So nice to have you with us. We have got the simplest of storylines here today for you. If Georgia Tech wins, there are a whole lot of folks, including a couple in this booth, who think they deserve to be #1 because they would be the only unbeaten team in the nation. But here they are ranked #2, and they're not even favored. Nebraska, ranked 19th, is favored by 2 points. Folks, you figure it out. Dick Vermeil, what about this Georgia Tech team? A lot of folks are not familiar with their personnel.
Well, offensively, they're led by Sean Jones, and a set a school total offense record this year, both running and passing. Very gifted guy. In fact, the coaches are already saying he's a Heisman Trophy candidate next year. Defensively, Ken Swelling, a great big, 235 pounds, free safety, can cover and knock your helmet off, sets the tempo for the defense.
Now, on the other side of the ball, Nebraska comes in with a new quarterback for this bowl game.
Well, he's new. Michael Grant is new. He was the starter first game of the season. He got hurt. Mickey Joseph took over. He got hurt. Michael Grant is back today. Watched him on practice field Saturday, and he looked like he was ready to play very well.
All right, Mickey Joseph making news of a different sort here, as he is one of 4 players suspended by Nebraska coach Tom Osborne. Joseph wouldn't have played anyway. Lance Lewis, though, would have been the starting fullback. 2 defensive backs also out for violating rules earlier in the week. We're coming back with Nebraska and Georgia Tech in just a moment. 50,000 on hand, and before we start, let's check in with our Mark Jones. Mark, Happy New Year.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, this week it was great. We had a chance to meet an athlete that really fine-tuned our focus on life in general. Kenny Walker of Nebraska has been deaf since the age of 2. So instead of hearing the roar of the 70,000 plus on hand today, Walker's world will sound like this. What I just said to all of us, especially when you consider the fact that Walker was the first deaf player to be named an All-American. It really is amazing. And you know, in their last home game of the season, and showed their appreciation, and the important thing was they can appreciation Kenny's way.
So an example of how that young man views the world. One of the more remarkable stories in college athletics, Kenny Walker. And we will show you how he reads the signals and the changes down at the line. You'll meet his interpreter here this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Cornhuskers will kick it off. Byron Bennett will kick it. And the unbeaten Yellow Jackets will handle it for the first time. Kevin Tisdale standing back on the Tech 2-yard line. Tisdale has an alley. Oh, he's he's upended at the 29-yard line by Bruce Pickens, the cornerback. Sean Jones, who will quarterback the Yellow Jackets. He's out of Thomasville, Georgia, and he has done a fabulous job leading this offense. Stephen Scotton is his fullback. William Bell is tailback. Merchant and Rodriguez are just two of his wide receivers. Bobby Ross will shuttle in plays. The offensive line, Joe Sifri, the veteran guard, number 62, leads that contingent. So here is the first play, and immediately Bobby Ross moves his tight end from one side to the other, trying to camouflage formations, showing Nebraska something they don't often see. Then on first down, he pumps one into the ground. Defensively for Nebraska, the side of the ball where the Cornhuskers always excel. Pat Engelbert, the man in the middle, and the linebackers. And what a group this is. Mike Kroll, number 88. Remember the name and number. He'll be a star someday in the NFL. Reggie Cooper broke the tackling record for Nebraska's secondary players. So now it is 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Jones bringing Bell around the left side, and he broke a tackle before he was brought down by Kroll, number 88, in on the first stop and just short of a first down.
Georgia Tech getting right into their game plan. Ralph Friedgen, the offensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, said we're very concerned about Nebraska's overall speed. We're going to use counter action, play action pass, misdirection as much as we can. Also vary the snap count, maybe draw them offside and then slow them down. But you'll also see them changing the strength of the formation, as you've already seen in the first couple of snaps. That's Georgia Tech's offensive approach.
Pat Tyrant is being helped off as he's under his own power. He was shaken up on that play. He received attention on the field from the training staff at Nebraska, so he will have to miss at least a down. He is one of their stalwart linebackers. 3rd and short. The power I. Bell battles toward first down territory before Joe Sims can bring him down for the Cornhuskers.
You notice in that 3rd and short situation, Georgia Tech remained in a spread formation, choosing not to constrict their formation offensively and constrict the strength of that defense. They spread them out and went inside anyway. First down.
Tom Quinn leads a Big Ten crew of officials in this year's Citrus Bowl. They have signaled first down. So it was the strong 2nd down run that got the job done for Georgia Tech in that sequence after they threw an incompletion on first down. On first down, again, Jones, who has the ability to break out, and he does just that, scrambling free at the 40, 35, 30, inside the 15-yard line.
Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator, said if they move the ball at all, we're going to come after him with some pressure, bringing the outside linebackers. You see him coming both sides. He shakes it. No in the grasp rule in the NCAA games. Here he is making a nice run. You can see he can both run and throw the football. That's why he broke the school record. Total offense. Sean Jones.
45-yard gain inside the 15-yard line. The toss to Bell, running to the boundary side and gaining perhaps a yard. Reggie Cooper was among the white jerseys of Nebraska, bringing him down on that side. So an ad lib by Sean Jones shocks the Huskers here.
Well, he has been so efficient. There's Charlie McBride figuring it out right now. Inside the 20-yard line, that red zone, they have a specific game plan, and they'll be going to it right now. You can see.
9 yards for the first down. Jones again rolling to the right. Bobbled out of bounds and incomplete. Bruce Pickens, number 38. doing the job defensively for this Nebraska secondary against Jerry Gilchrist.
They use a play-action fake inside to try to slow down the defense from getting outside. See, throws the linebackers momentarily. He's out there. He's going to throw the out pattern to the left-hand corner of your screen. He comes back nicely for it, but Pickens comes back as well. Good defense all the way.
Bobby Rodriguez, number 3, a wide receiver, coming out to Sean Jones's right. He brought the play in off the sideline. Now Covington, the tight end, will move up to the left, and they throw 3 wide receivers at this defensive unit. And Jones running the quarterback keeper across the 5-yard line. This could give the Rambling Wreck another first down. It's very close.
You know, I'm surprised that caught Nebraska by surprise, because in the 2 game tapes that I looked at, they like the quarterback draw down in this area because you're going to get good pressure by the defensive lineman. More often than not, your secondary is all going to be tied up man-to-man, and you can break up in there cleanly.
An official's timeout. They will measure. Referee Tom Quinn out of Chicago will bring the chains out from that far side. Have to get down and take a closer look, and they got it. He had to get down on a knee. That's how close it was.
I think really made the decision. The big 320-pound offensive tackle looked over his shoulder and said he didn't want to argue with him. Taking a look again at that quarterback draw.
Here's how they got down. Jones breaking free.
Here's that scramble play, coming back with it. You can see he has that good quickness of a running back.
Now 1st and goal from inside the 5. And beautifully defended by Nebraska that time. Stephen Scotton carrying the ball, and Reggie Cooper, number 17, made the first hit.
Georgia Tech has shown a tendency to use a lot of motion down there to change the strength of their formation. The one thing that they normally do, though, is they run toward the motion. So right now, I think they're going to have to set a motion one way and come the other way to slow down that the Nebraska defense.
Bell and Scotton are behind Jones. It has been Jones' running ability that has set up this scoring opportunity. Scotton battles for the touchdown. Georgia Tech strikes first.
Trying to create a soft corner. He gets a real good block. Jay Martin, number 80. Good tackle right there, but he doesn't give up. Stephen Scotton, academic All-American as well.
Scotton broke free of that tackle by Bruce Pickens at the goal line. And Scott Sisson, who has been number 1 hero for the Ramblin' Wreck, makes it a 7-0 score. And in a game of this magnitude, it is hard to overrate the importance of scoring first. Which convinces a whole lot of Northerners to move on down here to Central Florida at Orlando. It is beautiful. Scotton capped off that drive, and the key play, of course, was Sean Jones' 46-yard run. Alan Waters to kick it off for the Ramblin' Wreck. Nebraska was the number 1 team in the nation returning kickoffs this year. This is Derek Brown, the talented freshman. He makes his way out to the 25-yard line. This is the touchdown, Dick, that made it 7-0.
Taking one more look. Simple fullback off tackle play. You'll see man in motion, Eric Martin coming in. He's going to block the point. See, he gets the block right there. Lead back. Bell comes around, seals it. Now it's just physical ability. Man on man, strength, momentum, gets his pads down correctly, gets it in there. Pickens couldn't put him back. A mismatch defensive back on a big fullback.
Omar Soto is the starting fullback today, and Scott Baldwin is the I-back behind him. And now Mike Grant turns and yells the signal to his 2 setbacks. And the I-back, Baldwin, in that starting lineup, makes his way out to the 28-yard line. So Mike Grant took over for the injured Mickey Joseph and won the right to start in the Citrus Bowl during the pre-bowl training period held by Tom Osborne and his staff. Soto starting in place of the suspended Lewis. Baldwin is the starting I-back. Turner and Bostic, the wide receivers. David Edel anchors an always talented offensive line out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Now on second down, little bit of a delay run by the I-back out to the 30-yard line. It's going to leave about 3rd and 5 against this Georgia Tech defense. Rudolph, Battle, and McClary, number 96, made the hit on that last play. Marco Coleman, one of the big play linebackers, but Calvin Tiggle has also contributed some great defensive effort. Ken Swilling, Dick Vermeil talked about him and his great ability. Willie Clay, number 4, is perhaps their best cover man in that secondary. Now on 3rd down, Grant to throw for the first time, incomplete. And Nebraska goes 3 downs and out.
Well, this is going to be a big psychological lift for Georgia Tech. Coming in here, number 2 in the country, but not favored to win this football game. They score first. Now they go 1, 2, 3 and out on defense. It's got to be a confidence booster.
Ramblin' Wreck with a 7-point lead here. And Stiggy, Mike Stiggy, number 47, to punt it. Jason McGill, 32, awaits the return. He'll field the ball at the Ramblin' Wreck 35. Down at the 39-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech when you come back. Georgia Tech 7, Nebraska nothing.
Are processed for orange juice. Over 888 million gallons of orange juice were produced with Florida-grown oranges last year.
Freezes like the one that hit Central Florida last year, and I guess California a few weeks ago. So there's going to be no shortage of fresh citrus, thanks in large part to this delicious Florida crop. I think I'll have some orange juice at halftime, Coach. John Jones running the delay, fumble by Bell, and he picks it up, and he is down at the 34-yard line.
They wanted to run the deep handoff draw play out of the I formation and evidently just misplaced the ball on the insert. You know what happens on those delay plays? Many times the tailback is sitting back there and he's reading the defense before he gets the ball, and he starts to run prior to the meeting the quarterback at the mesh point and runs away from the handoff.
This is a grass surface here at the Citrus Bowl. Both of these schools come off artificial carpet, and Nebraska in particular is not necessarily comfortable on grass. That inside pitch to Bell, he battles out to the 37-yard line. In fact, Nebraska has lost its last 4 games that they have played on grass, but this is the first time that they have been on natural grass this year. Think about that. They come out of the Great Plains, they play on a carpet, well, they come all the way to Florida, and they get some good old-fashioned natural grass.
But I do think it does slow down their defensive speed just a little bit, because their speed on defense is just excellent.
You know, on that scoring drive, Georgia Tech was 2 of 2 on 3rd downs. Now they face a 3rd and long. And Jones with a deep drop under pressure. He slipped. Fumble recovered by the Ramblin' Wreck. That was Kenny Walker, number 57, who stormed in and knocked the ball free.
Kenny Walker, you'll see to the right side of your screen, number 57. He's been working on Daryl Jenkins, and they had a real concern whether Daryl Jenkins was going to be able to hold up there. Kenny whipped in that time, created the fumble.
They overseeded with rye grass, and it could be slippery going down here. You could see Jones, when he put his plant foot, slipped, and it gave way. Now the punter, Scott Aldridge, on the field for Georgia Tech. A low punt. Down by Georgia Tech.
That might hit a
Nebraska player. Georgia Tech is claiming that that should be their ball, but no indication from the officials. No, they give it to Nebraska.
I thought it hit David White, number 96, in the back of the head. Evidently not. The officials don't make mistakes. Here's Scott Aldridge, their punter. He's a 2-step punter. He gets the ball away quickly. He has not been, holy mackerel.
He's hurt, Dick.
He's hurt. He sprained his ankle there. But he has not been punting well the last couple days on the practice field.
1st and 10 for Nebraska. The ball at their own 37-yard line. Baldwin breaks a tackle and makes his way to the 39. Perhaps gained a yard on that play before he is brought down there by Georgia Tech. Calvin Tiggle, number 58, one of the very talented inside linebackers. Georgia Tech has a good backup punter, we are told, and that is Bill Weaver. Now that should be a familiar name, especially with NFL fans up in the Detroit area, because his daddy was a longtime punter for the Detroit Lions. Second down and long. Grant off a fake with great time. Receivers were covered, however, and he throws an incompletion. And Marlon Williams, number 56, was the linebacker with the coverage responsibility.
This is one of the Georgia Tech defensive coordinator's concerns. He doesn't want to allow the Nebraska quarterback to get outside in these bootleg actions. See, he's out there because this young man, Grant, can run. See, he's out there. There's no pressure on him. He's got a lot of time. If they're going to win the football game, they're going to have to get pressure in that man's face.
Derek Brown, the freshman I-back, checks in, and he is over on the left wing. They have a double wing formation. Quarterback draw by Grant, short of the first down. So again, Georgia Tech's defense holds against Tom Osborne's offense.
Well, you know, Georgia Tech's defense through the year forced an opponent to run 62 plays before they gave up a touchdown. That's the best we broke down all year, Brent. That's outstanding college defense.
Mike Stiggy in to punt for the second time today. Jason McGill again back deep, this time standing at the Georgia Tech 15-yard line. Nebraska had great coverage on his first punt.
That's a low punt, hard to field.
Takes it on the big hop. Up the middle, 30. And down at the 34-yard line. An 18-yard return, and that gives Georgia Tech pretty fair field position when you come back. Scoring first here against Nebraska, and it was set up by their multi-talented quarterback, Sean Jones, out of Thomasville, Georgia. He has a brother who starts in the defensive backfield for the Georgia Bulldogs. And Sean made the family proud with this 46-yard run, setting up the Ramblin' Wreck score.
Well, if you can have a person in your backfield that can both run and pass and do that, a la Randall Cunningham right now, that we'll see on Saturday, what a weapon.
3 times he's carried for 51 yards. First and 10. The ball is at the Ramblin' Wreck 34-yard line. Jones again on first down, throwing to Rodriguez for a first down. An 11-yard completion. Jones to Rodriguez. Bobby Rodriguez, a sophomore out of Staten Island, with his first catch today.
They're using action away from the direction of the throw to keep the defense from docking underneath that out. You'll see now the receiver will be running the out pattern here. This is Bobby Rodriguez, very quick, averages 18.3 yard reception. He comes back for the ball nicely. It's thrown outside, just where it has to be thrown.
Greg Lester, Brent Goolsby come out to the right. Scotton, the lone setback, the fullback right behind Jones. He takes it off the option and bolts across midfield. And the Ramblin' Wreck have the Cornhuskers back on their heels right now.
Well, the defensive coordinator for Nebraska, Charlie McBride, said if we can't slow them down inside, because we had problem against Colorado and Oklahoma, we're not playing good technique football. And if we play good technique football, I think we can handle it. If not, I'm going to come after him with our blitz package.
Bobby Ross, who for 4 years was an assistant coach with the Kansas City Chiefs, is giving Nebraska one look after another, never showing the same formation twice in a row. Now the tossed bell on the outside, and he slams ahead for another first down before Tyrone Bird brings him down.
Both Nebraska safeties in preparation for this game and looking at tape, Reggie Cooper 17 and Tyrone Bird, they get involved in stopping the run. You're going to have to come after with them with some good play action stuff, Brent.
Nebraska had dreams of winning a national championship of its own, and then they stalled out in the fourth quarter against Colorado. A couple of weeks later, they were beaten by Oklahoma. They come in here having lost 2 of their last 3, down mentally. Tom Osborne trying to get this team back together again. Jones again on first down, rolling to the left, intercepted by Nebraska. the first turnover, and it was Bruce Pickens on that far side.
He jumps outside on a play-action rollout pass. Makes the fake, tries to freeze the linebackers. Pressure underneath by Walker. They try to block him there. He throws it. And the problem with throwing a ball in the direction you're rolling, you are always pulling the defense with you. It makes it easier to intercept it. Good job by Bruce Pickens. The second one this year. You understand what I'm talking about, Brent? When you roll out and throw in the direction you're rolling, the defense is changing from behind you. They're running in the direction of the throw. They'll get an extra step on that ball.
I believe we have a penalty after. That was following the interception. So Nebraska has possession, but the ball is brought back to the Nebraska 22-yard line.
Here's what I'm talking about. See now the quarterback rolling around. Now watch all the defenders in white. They're also running with him in that direction, and the ball's thrown in that direction. They have that one extra step.
Baldwin is the eye back. And Grant uses his fullback on first down, and he comes out to the 29-yard line. Omar Soto, the junior from Miami.
He's from Miami. I asked him how he liked Lincoln, Nebraska. He said it's different. He's just recently got married, and his wife is having a hard time adjusting to it. Of Cuban descent. He loves the Nebraska football program, though. He likes playing football there.
Should open up a Cuban restaurant out there. Lincoln,
oh, give him an idea. You manage it.
Yeah. Second down. Here's the toss to Baldwin. They stacked up at that line of scrimmage. And again, this is going to leave Nebraska with 3rd and long. Marco Coleman was there defensively.
You know, Nebraska has been 48% efficient in converting on 3rd down situations. I don't have a breakdown, though, that separates 3rd and 5 from 3rd and 1. I think they're a lot better in that run and 3rd and 1 situation.
Grant has misfired on his 2 earlier passes. 3rd and 5 for Nebraska. Turner steps in motion. He brought the play in, and he goes out and couldn't hold on. 3 and out again, and Stiggy will punt for the 3rd time here today for Nebraska.
Turner is a gifted receiver. You get the ball in his hand, he can run like a running back. Very impressed with him on the practice field the other day. Again, there's a short rollout. He gets pressure in his face right off the bat. Johnson, number 48, gets a little hands up in front of him. He throws the incomplete ball right behind him. Tough to make that catch running away from it going behind you.
Bobby Ross was once also a special teams coach, and sometimes during a game he'll come after a punter. This time they set up a return. McGill is driven back to the 21-yard line. Hammered at the 25-yard line. Only a 4-yard return as Johnny Mitchell, the freshman tight end out of Chicago's Simeon High School, comes down with great coverage on the punt team, and it'll be Georgia Tech ball, leading it by a touchdown.
You know, Bobby Ross said the reason they're right now an undefeated football team, they finished strong last year with 4 straight wins, but this year they were much better in the turnover category, being plus 14 coming into this football game. They're not turning the ball over. They cut down on penalties, and their kicking game really improved.
Now in the Florida heat, Bobby Ross will go with 2 fresh running backs, Carl Lawson and Jeff Wright. Lawson is 22. Wright is 35. Showing motion, splitting the backs, and throwing to Wright on first down. It is now obvious that Bobby Ross and his assistants have decided to throw frequently on first down against this Nebraska defense.
Well, as Coach Ralph Friedman, the offensive coordinator, said yesterday, we aren't going to sit and wait for things to happen. We're going to make them. We may never be in this situation again playing for a national championship, and we don't want to finish the ball game saying, I wish I would have.
Georgia Tech, the lone unbeaten team, tied once by North Carolina. That game was at Chapel Hill. Scott Sisson able to tie it in the waning seconds. This Georgia Tech team has been a clutch team all year long. They've come through in the 4th quarter. Now they lead Nebraska by 7 points. On a delay, they bring Jeff Wright. Pat Engelbert being credited with the tackle for Nebraska. A lot of bulls coming your way on ABC. Next, we'll send you out to the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy. Oh, this could have been a game for the national championship.
You bet.
Then Washington upset by UCLA up in Seattle.
That's the best football team I saw all year was University of Washington.
Then tonight, I don't think Al and Dan, Frank even bothered to go home. They just stayed there for last night's game. Virginia and Tennessee coming up a little bit later. Virginia with a whole lot to prove in that one. Jones with a slick move on the inside. Pops it into the hands of his tight end Covington. And that was Mike Kroll hitting him first.
Again, that was an example, Brenda, trying to stay with the game plan, misdirect the defense, come out with the ball the other way.
4th down, and they will change punters. Georgia Tech does change punters, and Tony Garrity, a senior out of Morrow, Georgia, comes in. Aldridge injured an ankle. It was being taped on the sideline. So Garrity now comes in, and he may stay in. What a beautiful punt that is. Tyrone Hughes down at the 32-yard line.
They just missed a clip.
10-yard return off a 45-yard punt. So it will be 1st and 10 again for the Cornhuskers, trailing Georgia Tech by 7-0. 70,000 on hand at the Citrus Bowl, a facility that has been expanded. Back in the old days, you might remember the name of this bowl as the Tangerine Bowl.
I think Nebraska has got to get into their option game. That's what I think they do best, and that's the toughest thing to defense, in my opinion.
That's Turner stepping in motion. Instead, they toss to Baldwin, the I-back, his best run of the day, out of bounds on the far side at the 40-yard line with Curly Day, the boundary cornerback, getting him out for Georgia Tech.
You notice when they toss the ball deep, the tailback does not run parallel to the line of scrimmage or to the sideline. They are a downhill offense. As soon as they get the football, they head toward the line of scrimmage. Now, Georgia Tech would love to keep them running toward the sideline.
Their best 1st down effort of the day. This is what Georgia Tech's defensive assistant did not want. 2nd and short for Nebraska. They can turn it into a 4-down football game if they can keep this up. Grant again barking the signal call to the 2 backs who are behind him. Soto leads Baldwin into the middle, and he slams toward a 1st down. We'll see where they spot it.
Well, in the Nebraska situation, no one second guesses the offensive coordinator because he's the head coach. Many times when you're on a coaching staff, the offensive coordinator will be second guessed. But if you're the head coach, the assistant coaches very seldom are critical.
So Georgia Tech's defense held Nebraska without a 1st down until 1:55 left in the opening quarter. This is their initial 1st down, and it was set up by Baldwin's run on 1st and 10, the I-back. This time, Grant brings the option, and Georgia Tech was ready. It'll be 2nd and long.
That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for this form of option. Georgia Tech proves that they can stop it, but it is another dimension. You really have to be disciplined to stop correctly.
Mickey Joseph was the starting quarterback for Nebraska until he went down with a serious leg injury against Oklahoma. And so Mike Grant beat out Tom Haas during the weeks leading up to the Citrus Bowl. And Grant now facing 2nd and long under pressure, will not get it off. They blitz him, and Thomas Balcom, the strong safety, hammers him down. Never saw him coming until it was too late.
And they don't do that a lot. They don't do that a lot. You'll see coming from the end zone now. Pressure from both sides, but Balcom gets it. Here he is. That's his 2nd sack on the year, so he hasn't done that very often.
An 11-yard loss.
Very good call by the defensive coordinator, George O'Leary.
3rd down and a bunch now for the Cornhuskers. The ball at their own 29. They need to get to the Ramblin' Wrecks 47 for a 1st down. Grant will take it right straight back. With Coleman coming, he throws incomplete. Threw a little bit too high that time.
Brett, I read a little disappointment in offensive players going off the field. Just watching them go off the field with their hats down. they're either disappointed or surprised.
And they will punt again. Stiggy, the busiest of the Cornhuskers. McGill to return again. And his fourth punt is underway.
That's the kind you like to return.
McGill's got it at the 30 now. Looking to get to the outside, and he is brought down at the 36-yard line again by Johnny Mitchell. We'll see that talented tight end before long, too. They'll start trying to get the ball in his hands.
They'll have to if they're going to move it.
Mark Jones, what's up downstairs?
Well, guys, right behind the Georgia Tech bench, their secondary feels that they can intimidate the receivers from Nebraska. They're walking around saying that they can knock their heads off, and so far they've done just about that, really holding on defense.
And it has settled into a defensive struggle, hasn't it? 7-0, Georgia Tech with a victory. Stephen Scotton and William Bell check back in and show up in the eye. And again on first down, off a pump fake, going deep off the middle. What's Rodriguez? Got it! 46 yards to Rodriguez.
What you're going to see is Rodriguez come down here and make a slight hesitation move, freeze the corner, then go to the post for the big play. Play action pass. Now he makes a slight hesitation move right there. See a little hop step, then he takes off, goes deep, gets inside Pickens right there, makes the great catch, not throwing perfectly, but close enough to catch.
And Pickens is shaken up.
Pickens is their best coverage man. Transferred from Coffeyville Junior College, came out with 5 pass interceptions, came into this ball game with 4 pass interceptions in his career at Nebraska. Their best pass defender. See, again, what the play action does, it many times helps freeze the safety inside, and the corner gets no help inside. See the pump fake? See the pump fake? That can help as well. He comes down, no safety help inside. He's all alone.
He's their big play man, and they get it to him for 45 yards, and the quarter comes to an end. Georgia Tech seeking a national championship, leading by 7 and threatening again. Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida, on a simply beautiful New Year's Day. 7-0, Georgia Tech unbeaten and leading 19th ranked Nebraska. They came in an underdog. Elsewhere, Michigan coming back from the disappointment that they experienced midway through the season, hammering Mississippi. Clemson all over Illinois, and Miami beating the Longhorns by 6.
That Clemson score makes the ACC conference just a little tougher, doesn't it?
Yeah, they kept saying that Georgia Tech didn't play anybody this year. I've been reading this now for about 4 weeks. Here's the handoff now to Wright. Make that bell. Let me check that. That was number 36, and he gets down to the 11-yard line. Reggie Cooper bringing him down there. William Bell, a sophomore out of Miami, one that got away from the Canes.
They're crossing the running backs again, a counter action in the backfield trying to freeze those linebackers. Here's Kenny Walker, left center of your screen, number 57. They're double teaming him. That takes 2 people to block him. Good job. And that's not a bad job of whipping the double team. You don't have to whip it. Just try to hold as much ground as you can.
2nd down for Georgia Tech. 3 yards for the first down. They run that delay, and that's the fullback, Stephen Scotton, and he was hit by Mike Petco, the junior from Anaheim.
Good time to come after him down there. That was a good call by Coach Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator. Mike Petco from Servite High School in California visited with his parents yesterday. David and Kathy Petco came out here. He said, it costs a lot of money to come to this ball game.
It is 3rd down at the Nebraska 15-yard line. Georgia Tech can get a first down at the 9. In this situation, Coach Ross frequently likes to get Jones on the boundary and put pressure with his running, scrambling quarterback on that defense, giving him the option of throwing or running. Let's see what he elects to do here. They show blitz. They're coming, and there's a penalty marker down.
Actually, Sean Jones right then should have called timeout. They were fouled up. They were having a hard time getting lined up, and something broke down, and it's obvious. Call timeout. Don't waste the play. You can see Petco lined up right up in there. No one picked him up. Here he goes. Normally you have a gap rule. As soon as a man jumps in your gap, you'll give a gap call. Everybody will come down and fill those inside gaps. You'll see Petco, middle of your screen. There he goes, number 99. No one touches him. You ought to get the sack.
And that will signal the arrival of Scott Sisson.
The penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So a fourth down field goal attempt. And Aldridge limps back out, sprained ankle and all. He is the holder. So he is able to come out, and he will hold for this 37-yard field goal attempt by Scott Sisson. And the score stays at 7-0. Nebraska survives a threat by Georgia Tech. They'll take over, trailing it by 7 points. Georgia Tech 69 yards passing to none for Nebraska. Grant went 0 for 4 and leaves the game as Tom Haas, a junior from Aurora, Nebraska, checks in for the Cornhuskers, and this will be his first play of the afternoon. And he runs the eye back out to the 22-yard line. Fumble! Georgia Tech has got it. With another scoring opportunity, the ball at the Nebraska 22-yard line.
You should never fumble a deep handoff eye play like that. You have plenty of time to get the line of scrimmage, to seat the ball, put it at that home in that basket, and hang on to it. Take a look. See, it's a deep handoff right there. He's got it right there. Got it under the right arm. It's gotten in. Actually, there it is, still the right arm. He lets it get out away from the body, then gets it stripped. Got to keep it tucked in there.
Georgia Tech has run 5 times and thrown 5 times, and that was Kenny Walker claiming that he was pulled offside.
Being a deaf player, there's no way they could accuse him of jumping the count. He read it right. Offensive tackle must have moved. Bobby Ross is a little upset about that. Lower left hand, right here, 57 there. Yes. Daryl Jenkins, number 66, did flinch.
It is so interesting with people that have a handicap, how finely tuned their other instincts are.
Oh, you bet.
Kenny Walker can see anything along that line of scrimmage. Just a remarkable story.
Well, he has 21 tackles for a loss this season alone. So you know he's quick, and he gets in that backfield.
Suffering from spinal meningitis. He was 2 years old, lost his hearing. He is without 90% of his hearing. He'll look down the line and watch the snap. He was a stand-up linebacker. They made him a down lineman so he could come off that ball quicker. He's a great pass rusher. Now dropped over the middle by Jones, and that was to Emmett Merchant, his first reception of the game. And again, it was Petco who defended the play for Nebraska.
Georgia Tech has some gifted athletes. For example, in that Emmett Merchant, they drop him a little short one, but as a wide receiver, but he was a fine high school running back. So if you give this receiver that short pass, possibly he has the ability to take it and run it up into the end zone.
They get the 5 yards back from the penalty. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Bell is the I-back. He's behind Scott. Jones the quarterback. Slot formation to the left. Georgia Tech getting scoring chances here in the first half. On the roll, Jones converts a touchdown.
Again, that play action pass frees the linebackers inside, just holds Petco. He keeps rolling outside, no pressure in his face, throws the corner pattern right where you have to throw it, high into the outside. He goes up to its highest point over Bird, number 8, makes the touchdown reception. Take another look at it.
And before we do that, we'll watch Sisson's extra point. He hammers this one through to make it a 2-touchdown lead by the unbeaten Ramblin' Wreck. Emmett Merchant on a 22-yard catch. A pass thrown by Sean Jones.
Here it is. You'll see what the play action does to the linebackers. 99. Now watch him freeze him right in there. He hesitates. He hesitates. He can't get in there. Can't get in front of that quarterback. Get pressure on him. There it is. Nice throw. Nice catch. High into the outside. Tough on that safety. Number 8, Tyrone Bird.
And the underdog and unbeaten Georgia Tech leading 14-0 over Nebraska, and starting to make a very convincing argument that if they win here today, there is no doubt that they are #1. Think about it for a minute. Brigham Young won a national championship because they were the unbeaten team. No one says that you're the best team. You got to prove that on the field. And since they don't have a playoff, if you alone are the only unbeaten team, that's got to convince a whole lot of folks.
Well, you're right, Brendan. See, Nebraska right now has 22 yards total rushing yards. They led the Big 8 with 340 yards a game rushing. #2 in the country rushing. If they're going to beat you, they have to run the football.
Waters to kick it off. And Hughes is not returning. It'll be Turner and Brown back deep for the Cornhuskers. So their leading return man, because he's nicked up. This will be Turner, hesitates, thinks about it. Now he decides to get out, and he'll be short of the 20-yard line.
Good
Down
kick coverage
to Mark Jones. Mark. Well, we'll get back to him when we get him in a better position so he can hear us up here. Meanwhile, Nebraska will take over, trailing it 14-0. Tom Haas is the second quarterback used by Coach Osborne and his staff here this afternoon.
Tom Haas was a walk-on in 1987, was not given a scholarship until he worked his way onto the squad. He's only thrown 7 passes this year coming into this ball game, completed 2 of them.
Soto and Baldwin continue to operate at running back for Nebraska. They line up 2 tight ends. They run the option. Baldwin is hit first by Clay. Clay got the first lick on Baldwin as he was the ball carrier running that option play, and it was well defended by the cornerback.
Did a real nice job. They run the fake inside, as you'll see here. Watch him fake the fullback inside. Now he comes down to the line of scrimmage. The pitch is forced right there. He gets it out. Looks like it's clean. The corner had rolled up, meaning playing the short outside 1/4. Got up there and made the play.
Well, the average starting field position, Nebraska at its own 25 and Georgia Tech its own 41. Huge difference there. Nebraska stalled inside its own 20. And Haas, under pressure, drops off the screen pass. And there's a penalty marker and a fumble also. The loose ball recovered by Clay of Georgia Tech at the 45. There was a penalty flag thrown at the 30. Soto, the ball carrier that time. He was the receiver on the screen pass.
I think the turf created the fumble. I think he hit the ground and fumbled.
Yeah, that might be a penalty. Swilling double teamed and taken down on that play. So Nebraska keeps the ball, but they will be penalized.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
One way to stop an All-American safety.
I tell you, Swilling is so big and fluid as an athlete. He may actually, as he continues to mature, grow into a linebacker position, because he's 6'3", 236 right now, bigger than a lot of NFL linebackers. His cousin Pat Swilling, the fine linebacker for New Orleans, can't be much bigger.
Pat Swilling and the Saints winning a big one last night. They go to the playoffs. They'll play the Chicago Bears next weekend. Philadelphia and Washington on Saturday, followed by Kansas City at Miami. A splendid doubleheader coming your way on ABC. Soto,
good defense.
Up and down at the 20-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Cornhuskers.
Mark Marco Coleman just did a real nice job on this. You'll see him, number 95. He'd be right over here. Watch him come down and meet this play defensively. Good technique. He stuffs the guard, constricts it right there. No place to go up inside. Good job by Marco Coleman.
Derek Brown now into the game. That's him going in motion behind Haas. Straight back. Incomplete. Brown couldn't hold on.
Threw it behind him. If you get the ball in Derek Brown's hand in an open field situation, he can put it down the end zone. He's a freshman, a true freshman, but a gifted runner. Nebraska has been in this environment before. They know how to battle back. I wouldn't start writing them off too soon.
Mike Stiggy standing at the Nebraska 6-yard line, and McGill set to return it for Georgia Tech. This should give them favorable field position again with a 2-touchdown lead. Signaling for the fair catch. 47, and he is hit. An infraction.
Stupid.
Another mistake by Nebraska. That was Scott Baldwin, the I-back.
I can't believe he did that. He must have just lost all sight of him, or was pushed into him, one or the other, blocked into him. Oh. No, that's not good football. You're beating yourself when you do that.
We're going to take a break. Georgia Tech with a 2-touchdown lead and threatening again. Well, to Florida here at the Orlando area. SeaWorld blimp is Georgia Tech's Goodyear blimp. And the reason why is that was the blimp that was up there when they came back to beat Virginia. So it's the good luck charm.
Tell you, their good luck charm right now is the quarterback, Sean Jones. He's their good luck charm.
First and 10. Leading by 2 touchdowns. Bell, a penalty marker is thrown here on the near side.
Taking the handoff.
Good job by Walker coming down from the backside that time. Boy, is he quick.
That was great that I was able to give 2 blimps credit there at once. The Battle of the Blimp Wars continuing here in Central Florida.
The league of motion. The man in motion moved toward the line of scrimmage prior to the snap. Bobby Ross, boy, has he done a great job. You know, he's done a great job everywhere he's been. We were talking about that this morning at breakfast. Citadel, Maryland, he's done a good job.
Illegal procedure.
Almost went back to the NFL as an assistant coach up in
Only 6 on the line
Buffalo.
of scrimmage. The penalties declined. Second down.
He is coaching with a very heavy heart here today. A story that we want to tell you. His mother is in critical condition this afternoon, and Bobby, instead of sticking around and paying any attention at all to the Colorado Notre Dame game later today, is going to get on a jet and immediately return home to see her. Second down and 11. Jones on the roll. Another penalty marker comes out. A diving catch, incomplete and out of bounds. But there is a penalty flag which was thrown by the umpire back at the line of scrimmage.
I tell you, many times coaches tell you what they're going to do with the ball in their game plan, and then they don't do it. Let's see what he has to say. But offensive coordinator Ralph Friedgen told us what he was going to do with the ball, and boy, is he sticking to what he said. Misdirect and come out with the football. Misdirect and hand off the football.
Four years ago, the Georgia Tech football program was in disarray. Won only 2 games, then the next year won 3, and then slowly Bobby Ross started to bring his kind of athletes into Georgia Tech, and have they ever turned it around?
Well, remember, you and I did his last game at Maryland against Virginia. After the game, he says, yeah, Dick, what do you think? Should I stay in Maryland or should I leave? I said, oh, you ought to stay at Maryland. You've invested a lot of time there. You've got it going, you know, stay and overcome the problems. Good thing you didn't listen, huh?
That Atlanta school in general has fabulous athletic programs right now. Kenny Anderson and the basketball team made its way to the Final Four. They're back in the top 25. Golf team is ranked #1. Baseball team in the top 5. Jones with some footing difficulty runs it back to the line of scrimmage, and another penalty flag comes down.
I think they called holding on the offensive right tackle, Big Mike Mooney. Now, Bobby Ross said his team really licked the penalty problem this year, averaging only 5 penalties a game, but he's had a few penalties on him this time.
Bobby Ross and Georgia Tech leading Nebraska 14-0, 9:43 to go here in the first half. The overhead view of the sold-out Citrus Bowl on this beautiful New Year's afternoon. A year ago, it was chilly down here for the Illinois-Virginia game.
Well, it was a lot cooler than it is here. We were down on the field in pregame practice, warm-up there. It didn't take much to warm up.
20 yards to go. Third down for Jones. Gets his time. Throws complete. And a first down to Brent Goolsby, the sophomore from Marietta. A 27-yard gain on 3rd and 20. Jones making all the big plays here this afternoon.
Well, Nebraska went double zone, meaning 2 deep safeties.
First and 10 for Georgia Tech, ball at the Nebraska 20-yard line.
8 of 11 for 123 yards. The safety had rolled up. He was able to get it to him. Now a fake by Jones, but that did not fool Mike Kroll, number 88.
Jones keeping. Stopped by Mike Kroll. Loss of 5 on the play.
It was a 5-yard loss, so it'll be 2nd down and 15. The ball back at the Nebraska 25-yard line. Jones eyeing that defense. And there was contact made. Pat Engelbert. So another mistake by the Cornhuskers here in the first half. Tom Osborne, although you'd never know it looking at him at the sideline, has to be just livid with the performance of his team here today. Michigan all over Mississippi, and Clemson for the ACC. Meanwhile, Miami shutting out Texas. So just about everything is coming up Georgia Tech's way so far.
I'm talking in smart parts.
There's a swing to Bell on the outside, and he breaks inside the 5-yard line. 18-yard gain, making it 1st and goal for Georgia Tech.
18 on the pass play. 1st and goal. Georgia
Single
Tech
back
on the
attack.
3-yard line.
They swing the back out to the right side of the screen. He gets back. He's laying it off there. The linebacker's pressuring up inside. Got picked off inside, I think, with a wide receiver coming down and bumping the defender coming inside out.
1st and goal. And timeout is called by Jones. And all 3 of his timeouts left, so why not use one down here in scoring position? We're going to take a break, and we'll come right back in a moment. In Orlando, Florida. Unbeaten Georgia Tech 14, Nebraska nothing. Time remaining there in the first half. Tom Osborne looking at the possibility of falling behind by 3 touchdowns here with a 1st and goal. Jones to throw on 1st down. He's all alone for the touchdown. William Bell walks in. Extra point by Sisson. 21-0. 2 touchdown passes by Jones. He's now 10 of 13 for 143 yards.
They started a man in motion. Martin one way, brought him back the other way. Got the attraction, the defense looking at him. They attracted him. No one taking the back out of the backfield, coming off the play action fake. Normally, that is the outside linebacker's responsibility. Mr. Bell.
"37 yards in 6 plays, 227. And suddenly it's difficult to hear any of the doubters of the ACC and Georgia Tech right now.
They're where they're moving it right now. They're collecting votes.
I saw one voter, I think he's out of the Louisiana area. He voted this team number 10. He said, I just don't respect the ACC. And I hope wherever he is, he's watching this game. Bobby Ross said, hey, the ACC, we're having a great bowl season. We've already won 2 games. And somebody said, wait a minute. North Carolina State, what's the other one? It's Florida State. We're taking them already. Turner.
Oh, he's got a hole.
Out to the 29-yard line. Let's take a look at that Georgia Tech schedule and give you an idea of who they play. Now, when they tied North Carolina at 13, no one thought too much about this Ramblin' Wreck team. But then they went into Virginia in a great college football game and won it 41-38. Well, then Virginia experienced late season trouble after they lost their quarterback. But included in that list, folks, are these 4 bowl teams.
3 of which were nationally ranked when they were beaten by Georgia Tech.
Now Haas, and he is taken down by Kevin Battle.
Big nose guard at 295 pounds, redshirt sophomore, industrial engineering major. Very industrious on that play.
Let me follow up on the Atlantic Coast Conference, because that conference has posted its best ever record against outside competition. Coming into the bowls, they were 25-7 against all comers in their non-conference games. So it has been a much maligned football conference this year, and a lot had to do with the fact that Virginia lost its star and struggled at the end of the season. But at one time, they were ranked number 1. Haas back over the middle, and now they get it into the hands of a tight end, Johnny Mitchell, number 86, a 26-yard gain. Here is the young man who could bring the Cornhuskers back.
Well, he has the speed of a running back. He's a freshman. He can run like a running back. Here he is right here, coming off the line of scrimmage. You're going to run play action fakes. See, freeze everybody in there. He comes off clean to the right side of your screen. They're going to hit the seam down there in between the double safeties. There it is. Does a really nice job of getting the ball to him. Big guy, co-freshman player of the year offensively in the Big 8.
And that completion could do a whole lot for Tom Haas' confidence level right now. Hitting Mitchell. 1st and 10. The ball inside the Georgia Tech 45. So Nebraska making its best threat of the day so far. They have really been stymied, and Turner coming around from his wingback spot and out of bounds at the 31. Let's go down to Mark Jones. Mark.
Guys, just a few moments ago, Coach Tom Osborne gathered his team together, gave them a very spirited pep talk. After that, Nate Turner came over to me and said that they feel very slow and very sluggish out there. Nobody knows what the cause of that is. It could be the heat. You see the fans here, or it could be the natural surface. Whatever it is a mood of doom and gloom down here on the Nebraska sidelines. Guys?
Well, Tom Osborne took a different approach to this ball game. You know, he worked him a lot tougher than he normally has. You know, maybe that's it. I kind of doubt it.
Haas off a fake, rolling to the left.
He's got it.
Back, Mitchell. Nebraska coming back. He is the next Keith Jackson of the Big 8. A ton of ability.
Again, it's the play action. He's at the top of your screen. The bottom of your screen, number 86 coming off the play action, crossing the field. following the quarterback down there, and now they had the out pattern going on top of your screen. He comes down the seam right there. There he goes in for the touchdown. And the funny thing is, he had caught 11 balls coming into this game, 7 of them which were touchdowns. Very productive.
And here come the Cornhuskers. Greg Barrios adds the extra point. And because of that young man, the Huskers are down by only 14 now. We're going to have the World Swimming and Diving 3 bowl game festival coming your way. The Rose Bowl will be next, and then the Sugar Bowl. This is Kevin Tisdale returning out to the 25 and makes his way to the 31-yard line. A superb return.
Kevin Tisdale is an interesting story. He's not on scholarship. He walked on. He asked for an opportunity to return kicks. They gave him to him. Heck, he has an 89-yarder, 87-yarder. He's doing a real good job. He goes on scholarship after this ball game.
Right now, Dick Vermeil, we'd like to welcome those folks who enjoyed the Wolverines of Michigan beating Mississippi 35-3. I'm sure some of those Ole Miss fans left early on that one. Another win for the Big Ten. Michigan State beating USC in the John Hancock Bowl, putting back-to-back victories on the table. Maybe Iowa will be able to stick with Washington, which is a 9-point favorite coming up later in the Rose Bowl. Here it is Georgia Tech 21, Nebraska 7. And Dick, for those folks who have just joined us and might not have seen how this game has unfolded, why don't you give everybody a little overview on what we've seen?
Well, what we have seen here is a young quarterback, sophomore quarterback in Sean Jones that has done it all year, is to lead an offense that has confused the defensive scheme of Nebraska. Also one big broken play in scramble situation, but he is doing an excellent job of throwing the ball and running the ball.
He has passed for 143 yards already against Nebraska. His season average is 185. And here he is getting more yardage. Fumble! Nebraska ball at midfield.
By turning the ball over, Brent, what they're doing is they're giving Nebraska life.
Bruce Pickens recovering the fumble by Anthony Rice.
Well-executed offensive play, play-action fake, crossing tight end. Now watch, they'll run a nice fake in here. Tie up all the linebackers. They don't know where it's coming. The receiver crosses, he hits him. He gets it tucked away there. Now it's in the right hand. Now he's got it loose. Never did really get it tucked away nicely. Good defense. They stripped it. Pickens has it. First down.
Now the key for Nebraska, the last time they handled the ball, was Johnny Mitchell, number 86. And they have taken him out of the game right now for this play as Nate Turner comes in motion toward Haas. The fake on the end around. Haas going deep to Bostic and incomplete at the 10-yard line. John Bostic, the junior from Belleville, Washington.
What they do with the fake reverse like this, you'll see a fake reverse. What they're trying to do, you'll see the back right here come in. He'll fake to him there. What they're trying to do is to freeze the safety and sneak a man in behind him. Now watch the fake. They hope the safety takes that bite. Now he's looking for the post pattern in behind that safety's responsibility. He got in there. He just overthrew him.
2nd and 10 for Haas. And this time the freshman breaks free.
You won't catch him.
Derek Brown for the Nebraska touchdown. Cornhuskers deliver a message of their own.
The eye cutback, normally when an eye cutback play breaks like that, the backside of the defense, either the defensive tackle or linebacker didn't make the play. You'll see he starts left to your screen and he makes the cutback right there in that little crack, and he has great speed. He ran for 2,400 yards a year ago as a senior at Servite High School in Orange County, California.
50 yards for Brown. Barrios pulls Nebraska to within 7. At one point it was 21-0, and then the Cornhuskers came roaring back.
I wonder what Coach Osborne said to him in that huddle over there. Take a look at this young man. Watch the footwork here. He has good speed, good footwork, good body balance. He just outruns everybody, and he is only a true freshman. Look at that. He likes that. He's learning that early, don't they? They learn all that stuff, those jives. And
A great comeback here in the first half, and that was the longest run allowed by the Georgia Tech defense this year. A 50-yard bolt by Brown. As Osborne changes quarterbacks, going to Tom Haas. He throws a touchdown pass to Mitchell. Then he switches I-backs. Remember, it was Baldwin who hammered a Georgia Tech receiver on a punt. He has elected to go with Brown. Earlier, he suspended 4 players from the game, including his injured quarterback. And now Nebraska has clawed its way back into this one. A dandy here in the Citrus Bowl.
Brent, the thing to do, I think, Johnny Mitchell, the freshman tight end, made the big play. Derek Brown, the freshman tailback, makes the big play. Let the young kids play, and they can't win for you sitting on the bench.
Byron Bennett with the ball on the tee for Nebraska. Still 5 minutes to go in the first half. At one point, it was all Georgia Tech. Now Nebraska has taken hold of the ball game. Trying to get some coverage, and they do again. Spectacular kick coverage that time. The ball was put down.
They're ruling that he was on the turf,
but he may have been down.
Boy, Nebraska's mental attitude has really changed. The one big play to the tight end, the fumble, the big run. It's a different outfit out there mentally.
Tom Quinn and his crew out of the Big Ten ruling that the ball was down. So it will be Georgia Tech ball on their own 19-yard line. This is their worst starting field position of the day. Now, will the defense pick up the initiative for the Cornhuskers?
If I were Charlie McBride, I'd come after him. Hey, you're aggressive right now. Come after him.
Georgia Tech lines up in that eye. Jones has been their main weapon at quarterback. And he runs Bell, who bolts out to the 25-yard line. Good first down run by Bell. Reggie Cooper is missing from that defensive backfield, a possible concussion. So it's possible that they will be out without him the rest of the way. Tyrone Leggett is out there on the field in that defensive secondary. Curtis Cotton is also playing. Cotton has replaced him. Now the toss is to Bell. Cut off as he tried to sweep outside to the right. It'll be short of the first down. It's going to be a third down for Georgia Tech. Once leading by 21 points and now up by only 7.
Boy, what a drastic change. Look at that, 136 yards Nebraska, Georgia Tech 96. A little while ago, Nebraska had 22 yards running.
3rd and 2 for Georgia Tech.
He's running an audible at the line of the scrimmage.
Trying to get the call to the outside wide receivers. Nebraska showing blitz. They're going to come after Bell, who stepped up. They had the first down with the wait and see where they spot this ball. This is going to be critical. Tyrone Bird delivered a heck of a blow for the Cornhuskers, but he may have already been to the 30-yard line. No, I don't think he was.
I don't know. You'll see Mike Petco, 99. He's getting ready. He's almost too early. All right, there's Pat Tyrants. As Pat Tyrants takes the fullback on, here comes Bird.
Play.
He ricochets off. I don't know how they're going to. They have to call that back there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have forced a Georgia Tech punt. He did not get to the 30. And Tony Garrity is in as Mac's defense gets the job done for Nebraska.
Well, he came after him with that blitz.
Beautiful punt.
They roughed the kicker.
Loose down there, and Georgia Tech has the ball at the 21-yard line. But there is a penalty flag.
Running into the kicker.
Regardless, Georgia Tech is going to have the ball.
They had the choice. Right there, Michael Kroll ran into him right there. That's running into the kicker. You can't do that. Caught his foot, and Michael Kroll is a great football player.
But at the other end, there was a fumble. Turner and Hughes were having trouble communicating. Here it is. The ball is not handled cleanly, and Jay Martin, number 80, gives the Rambling Wreck a 1st and 10 at the Nebraska 22. What a spectacular first half this has been here so far in Orlando.
And Turner and Hughes are two very experienced return people. Led the Big Eight in punt return as a team back there. They shouldn't make those kind of mistakes. It's one of those, you got it, no, I'll take it. No, I'll take it, you got it.
And that's a big reason why they were unbeaten.
Georgia Tech plus 14. Boy, that computes to be worth a lot of points. About 57.
Scotton is the fullback. Jeff Wright has now checked in as the tailback. And this is Wright. He slips free of the first tackle and gets to the 19-yard line.
Pat Tyrant's almost had him back there, Brett.
By Pat Tyrants.
You'll see Pat Tyrant scraping off in the left top of your screen. Here he is coming right up inside there. He just about has him. He scripts away from him. Does a good job. Pat Tyrant's pre-med student. Graduated right before he came to the bowl game practice sessions.
2nd down and 7. Again, motion. And Jones straight back. Incomplete. The ball was dropped by Merchant.
He is upset. Little slant pattern inside the corner. Quick 3-step drop. Changing the strength of the formation. Setting the tight end one side, then going the other way. Trying to get the secondary to rotate. See, 3-step drop, plant the foot, throw it. Doesn't take very long to get it off. Got to make that catch.
Jones had hit 9 in a row before number 10 was dropped. Now it'll be 3rd down and 7. Lester, one of the wide receivers, along with Gilchrist. They come to the left. Merchant goes out to the right.
Audible. Audible.
Straight back.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds and incomplete. The receiver was Lester.
He saw the man-to-man coverage, and he wanted to hit the corner pattern to the slot man. I thought the slot man ran the corner pattern way too shallow. You'll see this from the end zone. He'd already called his audible. He just pops it over there. He's laying it up outside to the corner, a short corner, but he got it up there too high. See, no way he can get both feet down.
But I'll tell you, in the college game, you've only got to get one down.
That's right.
And I'm not so sure that one wasn't down. Scott Sisson to attempt a 37-yard field goal. He has missed one earlier in the game, but this time Sisson comes through. 24-14. The lead is 10.
1:50 remaining in the half. Georgia Tech 24, Nebraska 14.
You know, Scott Sisson has been one of those guys this year. He's only kicked 65% field goals, but he's been one of those guys that's been able to make the big field goal at the end of the game. He's won 4 ball games for him with a field goal in the final seconds.
Well, let's remind you what's coming up on our prime time schedule here on ABC. Where it'll be 1st and 10. A penalty flag is down. 1:44 on the clock.
Up by number 2, Eric Bellamy. Signal against Nebraska.
Tom Osborne over on the far side. Quinn and his crew straightening it out now.
Blocking below the waist during the run. Half the distance penalty from the 27-yard line. 1st down.
Tommy Haas has got to be gaining a little confidence from the contribution he's made as a quarterback coming in here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, at the 13-yard line of Nebraska. 1st and 10 for the Huskers. Haas, the quarterback.
Haas hands off to the freshman who sprinted 50 yards his last time out. And so Saturday, the NFL playoffs kick off on ABC. first time that on ABC. 1 minute and 10 seconds. They
Fake
faked
reverse.
the end around. Still trying to shake Derek Brown free one more time.
Oh, I tell you, he has that little flash about him. As soon as he touches the ball, you start anticipating the big run.
Number 45, Earl Williams, along with number 58, Kelvin Tickle, making the stop. Playing good for a first down. 8-yard
38 points scored here in the first half. Nebraska came into the game favored by 2. They were also ranked 19th. This is the 22nd straight year that the Cornhuskers have come to a bowl game. That's a record. And they have battled their way back in this one, but that time it was old Marlon Williams.
Very good play. Good penetration. They didn't get him blocked. Many times a young back will try to cut a linebacker coming like that, and if you don't get him down on the ground, you're in trouble. Marlon Williams, left-hand corner of your screen, there he is. Running back Soto trying to get him down there. Doesn't get him down. He kicks him out, keeps his feet, showing his athletic ability, keeps coming. Coverage took away the pattern. Sack.
Second down and long. The final seconds ticking away here in the first half. Haas will run the clock out.
Quarterback draw.
And that's going to end our first half. (24-14), and let's go down to Mark Jones. Mark?
Coach, you had a 21-point lead. You go into the locker room leading 24-14. Aside from a couple of big plays that you gave up, you have to feel good about the way that you played defensively.
Well, I think that we gave up. It just goes to show you their big play striking ability with the tremendous skill people they have. We can't relax on defense at one time. I thought we played the long ball that got them the momentum very poorly. We should have come back and played that much better.
You seem to have lost a little bit of momentum offensively after they scored.
No, I think we'll get that back. We just haven't executed as well as we're capable of executing. We made a couple of mistakes that we don't normally make.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Brent, Dick, back to you.
Mark, thank you very much. So Bobby Ross and the Ramblin' Wreck take a lead into the locker room, and we'll come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Back in Orlando, Florida, the overhead view of the Citrus Bowl with Georgia Tech unbeaten and leading Nebraska by 10, 24-14. On the field right now, the Nebraska Marching Band, a group that has traveled out of Lincoln, Nebraska, and has really enjoyed this trip. Their director, Mr. Jay Clocker. Let's go down on the field and join them now. Georgia Tech ahead earlier at the Gator Bowl over in Jacksonville. Michigan defeated Mississippi 35-3, giving the Big Ten a bowl victory. But Illinois is apparently going to lose to Clemson of the ACC, and the ACC having a dandy bowl season. Meanwhile, it's Miami over Texas 12-3. The Hurricanes are trying to argue that even though they lost twice, they should be the national champions. That game in the second quarter in Dallas. And it is now 19-3. So Miami apparently headed for a win over Texas. Coming up next on ABC, the Rose Bowl, Washington and Iowa. Let's check in now with Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy.
In the Rose Bowl game matching the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Washington Huskies, one would think that the Iowa defense will just belly right up to the Huskies, shut down the running game if they can, and put all the pressure on the Washington sophomore quarterback, Mark Brunell.
That's been the game plan all year against Washington. This is one of the highest scoring teams ever in the history of the University of Washington, averaging 36 points a game. He's accounted for 25 touchdowns. He has thrown for 14, run for 10, and he's caught one pass. So he's done pretty well.
But he is completing passes at less than 50%. Now, in the case of the Iowa offense and the Washington defense, the Huskies probably want to attack and stop Nick Bell before he can get started, which means Matt Rogers, the Iowa quarterback, is going to have the heat on him.
Those two players are co-offensive players of the year in the Big Ten. They have a lot of firepower, and they'll find a way to get it done.
What it will come down to, I suppose, in the end will be character and maybe a Hayden Fry gimmick. Who knows? It'll be a heck of a ball game.
All right, Keith, we look forward to that Rose Bowl coming up next. We also look forward to hearing from the Georgia Tech Marching Band, and we'll check in with Dick Vermeil. We'll have some highlights from the first half in just a moment.
Ooh, I know, I see that.
Hey, guys, don't they have any orange juice at that college of yours?
Well, sure they have orange juice. But I like this orange juice better.
Orange juice. It's got the vitamins, minerals, and taste that make you feel so good.
Why is it better?
It's free.
100% pure, Florida quality orange juice. It makes you feel so good.
How about if I buy the orange juice and you pay for college?
What do you think? How can Americans save 7.5 million gallons of gasoline a day? Carpool. And it can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Let's put our energy into saving it.
New Year's, marked by time, remembrance, and that traditional toast with Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with a headache from bidding the year too fond a farewell. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition.
The University of Nebraska is fun, it's enthusiastic, it's exciting.
Research that is world-renowned. Such a broad variety of classes.
Well-rounded education.
Caring and understanding, as well as challenging and supportive.
I love what I'm seeing here. Turn around and look.
You don't just learn scholastically, but you earn experience as well.
It's the opportunities that allow you to grow and learn. I really like the atmosphere. I like how I feel comfortable.
Well, I think it's more of a personal education.
You're taught how to think for yourself, and that's what you're going to be doing the rest of your life.
At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, education extends beyond the classroom.
Need a break from this winter festival? How about a day by the pool and a great round of golf? First, the world's top swimmers and divers meet in their premier event of the year, the World Swimming and Diving Championships. Then 1990's big winners on the PGA and Senior Tours meet at the Infinity Tournament of Champions. Dive into the action Sunday on ABC Sports.
Halftime continuing now at the Citrus Bowl. The Yellow Jacket Marching Band down on the field. Their director, Bucky Johnson. Let's give a listen. the music sounds great when you're leading the Citrus Bowl by 10 at the half. Going to change the mood for just a little bit right now because an awfully close friend of both Dick Vermeil and mine passed away yesterday. He really is a football legend. George Allen died at the age of 72. And Dick, I know that you have so many fond memories of Coach Allen.
Well, George was the guy that brought me into the National Football League as the first special teams coach ever hired specifically to coach the special teams. That was 1969. I enjoyed him very much. I think all the coaches that worked with him and for him enjoyed him very much. Got to coach against him later on when I was in Philadelphia and he was at the Redskins. When he was out of coaching, he used to come and spend 1 week at a time with us in training camp, and really enjoyed his contribution as a man. And my players always enjoyed him, and Eddie and family, we're thinking about you right now.
You know, you and I and our entire ABC production team, we want to pass along our condolences to Eddie and the entire Allen family out in Southern California now. Meanwhile, here in our football game, Georgia Tech trying to win a national championship, leading it by 10, and you can see some of the reasons why up there on the screen. And Dick, from a passing standpoint, Sean Jones has done a remarkable job, but Nebraska really came on strong in the second quarter.
Well, they got the play action passing going, got the tight end in there. He's a tight end that can run like a running back, and Big Mitchell at 86. They got the running game going. You know, they get Derek Brown going in there, and he can make the big run. Here it is, Georgia Tech with the football right now. Sean Jones, he can do it all. We said that in the open. We can see why the Georgia Tech people are saying that he is a potential Heisman candidate in years to come.
It was one of his touchdown passes, and then it was Tom Haas who stepped in as the Nebraska quarterback, and the freshman Brown broke free.
I really like to watch this guy. I watched him on the practice field the other day. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to put it in the end zone.
You know, Nebraska...
Olympic Games.
We couldn't have done it without the hospitality, but it was the high tech that made them take us seriously.
Georgia Tech, creators of the dazzling 3D interactive videos used in Tokyo to showcase Atlanta's Olympic Village and venues, combining multimedia images and high-tech computer graphics in ways never done before. The Atlanta Organizing Committee expected a lot from Georgia Tech, so can you. Congratulations, Atlanta.
It's New Year's Day, a medieval fantasy. Let's join them on the field.
Jesters' follies and knightly contests. This day calls for much rejoicing indeed, for the most valiant of our knights will claim our princess for his bride. Venture forth with us as we discover who will win the fair maiden's hand in our medieval fantasy.
Bring on the entertainers.
grown impatient with this frivolous merrymaking and have begun their contests of valor. Proceed with the joust. And has won the princess for his bride. Approach the throne, brave knight, and claim your lady.
Tis the evil knight whom he banished from the kingdom. He has come back with the wrath of vengeance.
Stand, brave knight. Defend your honor and that of your royal princess, whose hand in marriage, if not mine, shall be no man's. Prepare for your death.
White knight defeat the vile and dastardly intruder. Shout, shout your pleas. The vile evil knight will never again threaten this kingdom. Let us rejoice. In our world today, we too will be victorious in our battle for freedom and peace.
Jumped ahead 21-0. Then Nebraska struck for 2 quick touchdowns in the second quarter, made it 21-14. And then a field goal by the Rambling Wreck late in the second quarter left them 10 points ahead. But as far as Nebraska is concerned, this season in the third quarter, they have outscored their opponents 112-20. They have been a lethal second half team.
Very strong, and I think that's just because their athletes get warmed up, they get going, they find themselves in desperate situations, and they come back and rally. They have such momentum going in, Brent, at the end of the half. With a long halftime period, I wonder if you lose it. That was 30 minutes you were in there.
Well, let's check in with Mark Jones on that issue. Mark?
Well, I spoke with Coach Tom Osborne just a few moments ago. He said that at halftime he just told the team basically got to get it in gear or else we're going to get blown out. But he was happy about the fact that they had 2 big plays that got them back into the ball game. There was a long lag. He was a little impatient. We actually asked him to join us here at halftime. And after waiting for just a few seconds, he said, sorry, guys, we got to go. He's into this ball game, and he doesn't want to wait. Guys?
All right, Mark. Thank you. And Derek Brown, who delivered one of those big plays, is back to return Alan Waters' kickoff along with Nate Turner. Brown exploded 50 yards for the Cornhuskers' second touchdown. This is Turner at the 5, coming right straight up the middle behind the blocking wall. And he is out to the 29-yard line, where Tom Haas, the junior from Aurora, Nebraska, will quarterback the Cornhuskers. He replaced Mike Grant in the first half of this game. And for the ACC, it has been a splendid bowl season. Maryland was tied, but North Carolina State with a win. Clemson closing in on a victory over the Big Ten. Omar Soto and Derek Brown are the running backs. We have not seen Leotis Flowers at all. He was injured and was taken back to third string. And they have elected to come with the freshman here in the second half. And he is stopped short of the line of scrimmage by Calvin Tiggle, number 58.
Look at this. Georgia Tech. That's a good way to show how loyal you are. It's better than a tattoo anyway. It'll grow out.
Now it'll be second down and 10 for Nebraska. We start the second half, and the Cornhuskers of the Big 8 trailing Georgia Tech by 10, 24-14. Tech again, the only unbeaten team still standing. They were once tied by North Carolina. This is Brown, and he's very close to a first down.
He is a north-south runner, meaning upfield. Doesn't spend much time going toward the sideline. When he sees the cut, he has good vision. When he sees the hole open up, here we are, end zone shot. Now watch him find the spot to run. Boom, he cuts right back up in there, accelerating. Pads go down, he runs through tackles. Good job.
Big number 86 comes onto the field for Osborne, and that is freshman tight end Johnny Mitchell. He's out of Simeon High School in Chicago. He scored the Cornhuskers' first touchdown, helping them come back. Double tight end. He's there at the left. Haas runs Soto into the teeth of that Georgia Tech defense, and nothing much there on first down. The critical down, as far as Georgia Tech was concerned, coming into this game, was limiting the Cornhuskers on first down.
They really felt if they could get him into passing situations often enough in this ball game, they could beat him. Take away the running game, force the quarterback to beat us throwing the ball. That was their whole philosophy.
Dan Pleasant into the game. 4 wide receivers off a fake. It's Haas. The blitz is coming, and it's complete but short of the first down. Nate Turner, the receiver, on the far side of the field and out of bounds.
This Haas is a good athlete. He walked on, but you know, he broad jumped 24 foot 6.5 inches. They now call it long jump. That's the second best in the history of the state. Outstanding athlete.
Haas 4 of 6 for 80 yards after replacing Mike Grant. Needing 3 yards on this third down to keep it going. Turner stepping in motion. Haas going to keep it. Oh, brought down
face
with
mask,
a penalty
I think.
flag, and that face mask penalty by Balcom will give them a first down.
Got him pretty good. Again, with the quarterback able to move, run. He gets out of here, roll out. He's getting out here. Pressure. Coleman from the inside here. There it is. Oh, yeah, he really got him. That'll be a 15. Thomas Balcom reached up there. He really got him.
Personal foul. Face mask. First down.
Now they can get very animated down on that sideline. Came to Georgia Tech from Maryland. Played quarterback back in the late 50s at VMI when you went both ways. Smashed up that nose a few times playing quarterback and defensive back. First and 10 inside the Georgia Tech 40-yard line. Fumble, but Brown took it on the pitch as they were running down the line with the option.
Boy, that was
quick. I thought the ball was free.
Was that quick pressure? I mean, there was a defender in the quarterback's face the minute he took the ball out, and he flipped it. It did look like a fumble. Watch it. Pressure right there. He got it out there. Good poise to get it out there.
Jeremiah McClary was coming defensively for the Ramblin' Wreck, and I thought sure that they had knocked the ball loose.
Me too.
Second down and 9 now.
You get penetration inside when you're trying to run an option with the quarterback going down the line of scrimmage. It's trouble for that option.
Johnny Mitchell over to the quarterback's left. Haas rolling to the right. Throws incomplete. And Mitchell draws the interference from Swilling. Swilling guilty of pass interference on the Nebraska tight end.
It looked like he got there simultaneously, but Mitchell, as a freshman, he's already learned all the signs and all the techniques to get the call. Roll out, he's going to throw it right down our throat. Here it comes. Can't tell by that shot, but the officials were in a better spot than we were. Ken Swilling, he is the All-American safety. 6'3", 236 pounds.
First down.
An uneasy head coach of Georgia Tech. His team was up 21-0 in this game. Nebraska in the second quarter, behind their new quarterback Tom Haas, moved back into the game, and now it has been 2 big penalties against the Ramblin' Wreck. One a face mask, and now pass interference. And that will give Nebraska a 1st and 10 at the Georgia Tech 22-yard line. Average yards on 1st down for Nebraska so far is only 2 yards a crack. They have left them in 2nd and 8 all game long. Haas keeping it, and it'll be 2nd and long again. They didn't even get their average that time.
I'm not sure that was a design play. If it was a design play, it was a sucker all the way where they were pulling everybody and he was to keep the ball. Here's the signals being given right there.
Our director of statistics, Roger Riley, was all over that 1st down situation. 2nd down and a little over 10 yards for Osborne's Nebraska offense. Dan Pleasant is the wide receiver to Haas' right. Quarterback is straight back over the middle, and a diving reception by Turner just inside the 20-yard line. This will leave them with 3rd and long.
Turner is the kind of athlete, when you go on the practice field to watch the team, he automatically catches your eye as an athlete. You start watching him, what he does with his movement abilities, his hand-eye coordination, his ability to catch that ball softly. A very fine young athlete.
3rd down.
Calling an audible.
Brad Duvall is on the right wing. He's going to keep it, and he'll be far short of that 1st down. Nebraska will attempt a field goal. Greg Barrios will come onto the field, and they'll be kicking this field goal toward the Zonies end here in the Citrus Bowl. There's quite a story in behind the goalpost down here. In the old days at the Tangerine Bowl, they couldn't give these seats away. So one of the promoters down here at the Citrus Bowl said, I know, let's have a promotion. Let's make it a party. Let's make it a celebration. Folks, they started about 3 weeks ago celebrating.
Yeah. It's a 34-yard field goal. Barrios in his career has never missed a field goal in between 30 and 39 yards. It's blocked.
Kevin Battle, number 98, getting in for the Ramblin' Wreck, and the field goal attempt is blocked. We'll be right back. For effort by Keith Holmes on this field goal. Watch this replay.
To the right center of your screen, you'll see him standing behind the defensive line. He rushes. Now watch him leap. Great jump ability. He's way up in the air. He gets it with his left hand. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the second time he's done that this year. He did it against Virginia Tech that preserved his 6-3 win. Nice going there, young man.
24-14. Georgia Tech with a 10-point lead and the ball here early in the second half against Nebraska. Jones with great time on first down, throws to his running back. Bell with a spinning move inside of midfield. A 30-yard pass, and Jones has been the difference in this game so far.
They were in a strong slot formation to the right. He runs a running back fake, halfback to the right side of your screen. He'll come out, number 36 to the right side of your screen. He's running a seam down in there between the linebackers, down into the safety area, catches it. Again, the advantage of a running back catching the ball downfield. Good job, good play execution.
And Wright replaces Bell, who takes a break. Here's the pitch to Wright, getting to the outside. And inside Nebraska's 45-yard line with an option pitch. Here's a freshman from the Spirit of Florida.
And 24 points scored by Georgia Tech are the most by any opponent in the first half against the Nebraska defense. A Charlie McBride coach defense doesn't give up 24 points very often. This must be a very good offensive football team.
Well, the most prolific first half of the season against the Cornhuskers, and again, only twice have they given up more than 24 in a game, and they lost those two games. Now it is Jones on a fake toss, keeping it inside the 35-yard line.
See the athletic ability that you were talking about in number 88, Michael Kroll, moving inside out. What a fine defensive play. They almost had him suckered inside. Right in the middle of your screen, there's a number 98. You can barely see him there. There he is. He stunts down inside on a stunt. They break contain. Now here comes 88 inside out on the play. Look at that ability. No wonder they're talking about him being a first-round draft choice.
Nebraska with a national recruiting program. They go from Massachusetts to Southern California to get their football players out at Lincoln.
They have such a great reputation of doing a great job with the athletes once they get them there, both athletically, socially, and as students.
Let's go down now and meet a very special woman in the Nebraska football program. Down we go to Mark Jones. Mark.
Very special woman indeed, Brent. You know, a big cheer just moments ago, and Kenny Walker made that tackle. Why? Well, this is Mimi Mann, Kenny Walker's sign language interpreter. Mimi, a very special relationship with you and Kenny.
Yes, we've worked together for 5 years, and working with this incredible human being has given me opportunities that I never dreamed would happen. We've shared experiences that I never dreamed would happen to me.
At halftime, what did you have to say to him when you were interpreting the signs?
I just signed the things that the coaches were saying. There was a lot of emotion in there. The players came to understand how much they love Coach Osborne. You'll have to ask them about it.
And you had a special message for your man, Kenny.
I signed to Kenny as he left to go out back onto the field. I love you.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Mimi Mann, guys.
It has meant all the difference in the world having Mimi available for Kenny.
And Mimi gets to travel to some of the all-star ball games he's going to play in, right?
He's going to go to Japan. He's going to go to the East-West game in San Francisco, and he's going to go to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, and she's going to travel right along.
Does she need someone to carry the luggage? You know?
The young man, Kenny Walker. And he will someday get a chance in the National Football League. He's a senior. He comes off the ball as soon as it is snapped. They get heat on Jones, and they sack him that time with Pat Engelbert.
Real nice play from the nose guard position. An honor student in civil engineering. 3.5 GPA. Top of your screen. See him flipping there. You'll see him coming in there. Here he comes. Great big. He's actually not a great big nose guard when you consider the type of nose guards that Nebraska's had over the years.
Following up on Kenny Walker and Mimi, when she first took over as the interpreter for Walker, she had a lot of difficulty. She didn't understand football at all, and so they wanted him to red dog the 3 gap, and it came out, according to her, like Lassie climbed Mount Everest. So they developed their own lingo, and now they get the job done. Jones has gotten the job done. inside the 20-yard line, hitting Jerry Gilchrist. 23 more yards, a first down, pulling it out on 3rd and 18.
And you know, the key to that was the offensive pass protection by Darrell Jenkins, number 66, on Kenny Walker. They gave him time to get down there. They throw the post pattern, but that took a little time to get around the coverage to the left of your screen.
Well, I'm not smart enough to know if this is the best football team in America, but I am smart enough to know that if they beat Nebraska, they deserve to be ranked #1 with the effort they've given the Cornhuskers here this afternoon and how they've turned in an unbeaten record this year. 1st and 10 from the 20.
Gonna draw.
And here's Bell, bolting free inside to the 2-yard line.
Very good lead block by the fullback, Stephen Scott, number 40, on the lead draw play. They take it back, give it to him deep, get the defenders coming upfield. Linemen do a good job of sealing it off. He gets the good block. He's through. Now he's on his own. Good running ability, power. This guy is an underrated football player in the ACC.
And Stephen Scotton opened the way for William Bell, the sophomore from Miami. He delivered the key block. Now it is 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Jones will walk in.
Again, they're going to fake going a running play toward the motion man, which they had been doing. Now they come out on the naked bootleg. He has the option to run or pass. The man was one man in the pattern. They dropped off and covered him, and he walks in with it.
I should make another point about this Georgia Tech team. This is a young football team.
You bet it is. They have a few seniors in the offensive line.
Scott Sisson adds the extra point.
William Bell, who took the run there in the draw, is a sophomore. Sean Jones, a redshirt sophomore. Scott is the senior.
4 touchdowns and 1 field goal for Georgia Tech. Wow.
Never let him see the bench. Just forget it where it is, buddy. And you know, we haven't seen Leotis Flowers, who was their leading rusher at 940 yards in the season.
They said he was nicked up coming into this game, but he hasn't played at all. They said he was available. They started Scott Baldwin. He hasn't been back since he was whistled for a penalty when he hit a receiving man on a fair catch and cost them 15 yards. Osborne turns it over to the youngster. Hodge on the toss now to Brown, coming to the boundary side of the short side of the field, and he works his way to the 34-yard line.
Good job of blocking by the tight end Mitchell over there to run that toss. He knocked the linebacker off the line of scrimmage, gave him a little cushion to turn up. Getting a little shadow over the field right now. Must be cooling off down there because it was warm in pregame warmup.
Nebraska has lost its last 4 games on grass, and they trail here today 31-14. This is the first time they have been on this surface all year long. Here's Brown cutting in the middle of the defense and short of that first down. Was met by Battle in the middle of that Georgia Tech defense.
Kevin Battle, he's a big guy at 295 pounds, as we said earlier. Industrial engineering. Take a look at him. He'll be up in the right top-hand corner of your screen. He'll be working down. Here he comes. Now you'll see him. There he is, right in the middle of it now. Boy, he'd like to run it into him.
Here's the 3rd down for the Cornhuskers. The toss to Brown, short of the first down. Now, it was in the Colorado game. In this kind of field position, when Tom Osborne gambled and went for it on 4th down, he was short. Colorado took over and exploded, but it's too early for that. We still have 3:45 to go in the 3rd, and Osborne will not gamble. He'll send his punter onto the field. Want to talk about Colorado's chances? Remember that they were behind Nebraska going into the 4th quarter. Here, Georgia Tech has led it all the way. 31-14 Tech, and they're going to get the ball back.
Ooh, beautiful punt.
McGill driven back inside the 20. Out to the 28-yard line. A 44-yard punt, 9-yard return. We're taking a break and coming right back to Orlando. Jones. So with Dick Vermeil and Mark Jones, I'm Brent Musburger. Clemson routing Illinois in the Hall of Fame Bowl as rumors continue to circulate that John Mackovic is going to move back to the NFL. Miami pummeling Texas and piling on in Big D, 26-3. Who would have thought that one would be a rout? Second down and long. Here it has been Georgia Tech. Carl Lawson checks into the game. He is playing fullback in front of Wright, and this will be third and long as Reggie Cooper led the defense. Now, Nebraska's defense had been yielding an average of 264 yards, and today they have given Georgia Tech 316.
Well, they're defending a very sophisticated offense, both run and pass. They execute it real well. They know what they're doing. Great definition of purpose and everything that quarterback's doing. He never looks befuddled. He always knows where he's going with the football.
Something has to be said about Bobby Ross and his
He's done a great job.
coaches.
He's done a great job. And his offensive coordinator Ralph Friedgen, and his staff, Denny Smith, Terry Strock, Pat Watson, Mark Henderson, they've done a great job with that offensive team.
Well, they won't be happy with this. An offensive lineman moved a little bit too early, and they'll get penalized 5 more yards. Tom Quinn from Chicago.
Ball starts.
He heads up this Big Ten crew here today. And, of course, our Bowl Fest continues. Next, we're going to take you out to the granddaddy, the Rose Bowl. Iowa and Washington. Who do you like in that game?
Well, I tell you, if I were going to gamble, I think I'd bet on Washington. But we have seen Iowa play so well. But I tell you, I believe that Washington, at the time that I saw him, was the best team in the country.
And if I was going to gamble, I'd take Tennessee or the other. Jones on a roll now. Fires incomplete. And well defended that time. That Reggie Cooper was there, but Tyrone Leggett was in front of it. So the Sugar Bowl will have Virginia and Tennessee. That'll be our nightcap. As you watch Notre Dame and Colorado, we're not going to pretend that one's not going to go on, but as you watch it, snap on over and check in on that Sugar Bowl. Virginia might surprise you with their performance tonight, and if they come close, that would enhance Georgia Tech's chances even more if they can make a run of it. And we certainly hope that the Virginia team is healthy. That's a key thing with that ball club. So Garrity, who replaced an injured Aldridge, is their punter, and Bostic returning this one to midfield for Nebraska. A 33-yard punt and a 4-yard return. 1:25 left in the third, and Georgia Tech in command.
The big thing right now is for Nebraska to go with that attitude they had in the second quarter, the play action pass, get the ball down the seams there to Mitchell, the young guy. Even if you get it to him short, he has the ability to run. Get the ball in those people's hands that have the skill to run with it after they catch it.
He's their talented tight end out of Chicago, number 86. 4 wideouts.
He's a reverse.
Double reverse. Turner coming around and close to a first down. This will leave them in second and short.
You don't see many reverses run from a double wing formation like that. You take a look at that. See, here the quarterback will reverse. He'll hand it off. Now the running back hands it back. Here he goes. Now Turner has it. He's the running back. It was blocked nicely on the onside over there. Good job. Good execution.
Second down and short.
See, that slows you down a little bit. Stops those linebackers. They're going to check things like that. Makes them aware that they have it.
Haas to put it up to Turner and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So a good time to throw that play out.
He really wanted to go deep, but the corner backed off, and then he obviously coached if he backs off, we go for the out pattern. Threw it nicely. Haas put it right where he had to put it.
A 16-yard gain, and Nebraska threatening again as they move to the Georgia Tech 25-yard line. They were down 21 in the first half, remember, and they closed back to within 7. They get 2 quick touchdowns this time, and they'll be back by only 3. So the hole not as deep as the one they faced in the first half. Duval stepping in motion. And they run the I-back, and that time we saw Leotis Flowers, the junior from Omaha, carry for the first time here this afternoon. So Flowers checks in as I-back, replacing Derek Brown, the freshman, and Battle injured on the play.
He's acting like I think he has a cramp. Yeah, I think he has a cramp in that calf muscle. He's a big guy, as we've said a number of times in the broadcast. Maybe the heat getting to him just a little bit down there. It's pretty tight.
He made a good defensive play on that sequence against Flowers. Watch here in the middle of your screen.
There he is in the middle of your
He is
screen.
in the middle.
He is in the middle.
He is the whole middle.
Yeah, he's the middle, he's the right, he's the left, he's the lower end. Here he is, number 98, moving inside out on the plate. There he is, right there. Now he goes down to the ground. It's starting to cramp up on him right there. Hope that's all it is. Maybe it's more serious than the cramp.
You know, speaking of this bowl season, we have to say something about the performance by the Air Force Academy in the Liberty Bowl. 17-point underdog against Ohio State. They had not thrown a single touchdown pass all year. They didn't against Ohio State either. But what a great effort.
It had to be, because we have seen Ohio State play such good football, including the Michigan game at the end of the season.
And our troops over in the Persian Gulf, able to watch that game. They had to be delighted by the effort of the Air Force youngsters who went in there and beat Ohio State. It has been a good bowl season for the WAC, except for Brigham Young. They were beaten pretty handily by Texas A&M, but Colorado State with a great win over Oregon. The Air Force Academy beating Ohio State. Wyoming gave California all they wanted last night.
Look at the size of him. That's why he said he's in the middle of the screen, he's in the right of the screen, he's in the left of the screen. That cramp is starting to release. If he fills that calf muscle up with blood, he'd be empty the rest of his body.
Well, a reminder that Saturday, NFL playoff doubleheader right here on ABC. Noon. We'll take you to Philadelphia and then Eastern time. Saturday, ABC, the place to be all the way to the Super Bowl. 25th anniversary coming up in Tampa. Here now it's Hawes off a fake for Nebraska. Looking for the quick strike. Touchdown, Nebraska. William Washington.
Nebraska definitely not panicking, just being patient, moving the ball. Then they come with a big play action. This time they don't use the big 86 tight end. They go the other way. Here's Haas. He makes a fake. Now he comes out. He goes opposite direction. Has good protection. Puto is out there in front of him. He throws it back across the field. Here comes Washington to make that. That's his first reception in his career in 2 years at Nebraska University. And on the practice field the other day, they threw him one and he dropped it.
There's a whole lot of folks in Colorado saying right now, go Cornhuskers.
Go Cornhuskers.
This one is not over, folks. It's a 10-point game, 31-21, and just a little over a quarter to go. And you get the feeling, uneasy though it might be for Bobby Ross and Georgia Tech, that Nebraska has an explosion left before this one's over.
There's Washington. Here's another angle. You'll see what this action does to the defenders. See, they start one way, now they start the other way. They're coming out with him, running, and the receiver then coming in behind them. Coming in there behind. There he is, right in there, Washington. And as I said the other day on the practice field, he dropped it. He wears glasses, and this guy is one of the outstanding students in the country, who is a member of the Distinguished Society of American High School Students coming to Nebraska. Everybody's happy. That's the first pass he's ever caught.
You know, this is a sellout crowd here today. Better than 72,000 on hand. And as you look around the Citrus Bowl, you still don't see any empty seats. This has been a dandy of a fans game to watch.
You know, as you look around this bowl, you know what else you see? A great place for the World League football team that's going to be here.
Ah, the World League.
This is going to be a great city for that team. What do they call it? The Thunder?
The Orlando Thunder. Remember, New York opens up at Barcelona. Barcelona will be a 3-point favorite. That's the home country advantage. Now the kickoff to Georgia Tech. And to return out to the, speaking of Orlando, the sports program here, let's go down and meet a familiar face. Let's send you back to Mark. Mark?
I got a guy right here that knows something about scoring a lot of points from long range. Could have been a football player. Who knows? Dennis Scott with the Orlando Magic. Dennis, what's it like watching your former school on the verge of winning a national championship?
It feels good to be here in Orlando, to see that my fellow schoolmates came here and they're playing well and have a chance at a national championship.
Football players and basketball players really close at your school.
I think that's good. I think at Tech that we all hung together, we was in the same classes, and we really had a good relationship. Now they got a good chance of winning a big game.
Guys, Dennis winced when I said, what's it like going to a football school, not a basketball school?
All right, and there's a strike to Rodriguez. Big gain on first down. Jones came out throwing. William Bell has checked back in at tailback. The key now for Georgia Tech, and Bobby Ross knows this better than anybody in the stadium, do not get conservative. You're up 10. You got a final quarter to go, but don't sit on it. Nebraska's got too much firepower. So far, he's done a great job. We'll come back after this message in a word from our ABC station. They say the state of Florida will have a larger population than New York. I want to get here early to beat the traffic jams by 2005. What a great area this is, though. The Magic Kingdom close by. Dreams come true, and here on this playing field, it is Georgia Tech trying to make one come true, win a national championship. This is a school that became eligible for the ACC back in 1983, and they captured their first conference title with that victory over Wake Forest back in November. And things so far are certainly breaking their way. That's the team that beat Colorado, Illinois. They are being blasted by Clemson to the ACC. Miami, which has lost twice on the road at BYU and up north to that other school. And earlier today, Michigan 35, Mississippi 3. Now on third down, Jones did not fool Kenny Walker.
Good play by Kenny Walker. I don't know if it was veer option blocking or just base blocking, but he didn't take the fake, I'll tell you that. He's right here on the right side of your screen. There, now watch him work inside out. Good quickness, acceleration, and he hog ties him and throws him down.
Again, if you were not with us, this is the second punter used by Georgia Tech. This is Tony Garrity. Scott Aldridge sprained his left ankle on his first punt. He has continued to hold for Scott Sisson. And nice Garrity, punt. Meanwhile, has punted beautifully for Georgia Tech. This is Bostic down at the 34-yard line. Well, when you come back, it'll be Nebraska's ball following that 7-yard return of a 43-yard punt. These football defensive secondaries. Time now for him to turn in the big play. 13-37. He was beaten on the last touchdown pass. The drop-off. And it's going to be second and long for Nebraska. Well defended by Gerald Williams.
Plus, as you said earlier in the game, Brent, he planted his back foot to try to drive forward and lost traction right there in a big divot, like I had a 9-iron in my hand, slipped right, went right out from underneath him. You'll see it's going to be a screen pass. He drops it off there. The heat's coming after him right there. Good rush on him.
Second down and 14. Swilling so far has not been credited with any tackles. Hard to believe in this game. His team is ahead by 10. Plenty of time for Nebraska. Good defense though on the inside. Haas with no place to go. Jay Martin was one of the defenders in for the Ramblin' Wreck.
Good time to decide by George Lurie, the defensive coordinator, to put pressure on him. Take a look at it now. He's going to roll out, make a play action fake inside there, and here it is. Too much pressure. Simmons 99 inside, defender outside. Martin number 80. In fact, Martin's dad was Billy Martin, who played 5 years in the NFL.
Third down and 19. They press the wide receivers with the corners. Penalty marker is down. Throws complete to Soto, far short of the first down, but the penalty flag was thrown.
Probably holding.
Play on the tackle. There's a penalty flag on the field.
Yeah, holding. I think they'll refuse the penalty and have him punt.
They got up to
to the 28-yard line with the pass. And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. He grabbed him with the right hand inside the jersey. Number 73, Steve Engstrom.
Georgia Tech is going to get the ball back now with a 10-point lead and 12 minutes on the clock.
And I agree with what you said earlier, though. Don't just think you can hang on to it by going 3 downs and out or run. Stick with what's been real good for him. Mix those passes in there. And if they drop him back, he's always dangerous on the scramble.
They'll set a return here.
Yes. Well, it looks like here they've got the 10-man rush.
Gets it off. McGill hits at the 35. He gets back away from it. It's out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So when you come back, 11:46 to go. Unbeaten Georgia Tech 31, Nebraska 21. From here, the Kennedy Space Center. That's the vehicle assembly building that you're looking at there. Here we are in Central Florida, Orlando, the Citrus Bowl, with Georgia Tech attempting to win a national championship. The only unbeaten team, leading Nebraska by 10. 11:46 to go. 1st and 10 now for the Ramblin' Wreck. And this will leave them with 2nd and long as Bell simply slipped a little bit, making that cut into the line. Bobby Ross coaching with a heavy heart here. As soon as this game is over, he'll return immediately to the bedside of his mother, who's been critically ill. He'll join the rest of his family.
He's done just a spectacular job, and I kind of believe that he's the leading candidate for the NCAA Coach of the Year coming up here at the convention.
Sean Jones has been his ringleader on the field, the sophomore from Thomasville, Georgia. He has done it all here today. Rolling out, buying time, throwing long to Lester. He's got it. If that pass had been just a little shorter, Lester would have gone the distance. But as it was 39 yards, and they're rambling again.
39 on the play. Ball left from Nebraska.
Again, that's bootleg action, meaning the running back's going full flow one way, quarterback coming out the other way. See, that and what that does to a defender out there playing 1-on-1 for a minute, it attracts him looking back inside, and a receiver many times can slip up inside, and that's exactly what he did on Bruce Pickens, number 38.
Jones now 15 of 21 for 260 yards in the game. This is Bell, and Kroll brings him down from behind. But this will put them in 2nd and relatively short.
Bell, number 36. In all the games we've done this year, we go in to do a broadcast and we hear a lot about the running backs. We've actually heard less about this guy, but I think I've been more impressed with his performance on the tapes that we've seen and in the game today. He's a quality football player.
And back next year.
He's only a sophomore. 4 times 100-yard games in his career already.
Anthony Rice goes over to the left side of the formation. And they bring motion in behind Jones. And here he comes again. Inside the 10 to the 5-yard line.
The key to plays like that when you toss the ball is you get penetration upfield. The fullback gets the kick-out block. Stephen Scott, number 40. You'll see him appear. Penetration up there. Now watch Scott kick him out, and he goes up inside that running line. Receivers downfield doing a good job of blocking, moving the chains.
The Nebraska defense in need of a big play. Need a turnover down here. 1st and goal. The toss down to Bell behind the right side. Into the end zone.
Exact same toss play, but this time run toward a tight end. A tight end to block the linebacker to prevent penetration. They're going to toss it to him, man in motion. You see the defender chasing him. He tosses it back, but he doesn't take much time. Now he comes right up inside those gaps. Kick out up inside.
9:43 to go, and looking for a big play on this kickoff team. been the #1 return team this year.
They weren't going to use Tyrone Hughes, number 33, on the kickoff return because of a slight shoulder separation, but he's back there now, and he averaged 29-1.
This is Brown from the 4. Right side. And a good return out to the 34-yard line.
Now with 9 minutes and 30 seconds, you can't fool around with too many running plays. You're out of there 17 points.
Hawes this half, perfect passing. 6 of 6 for 45 yards and a touchdown. He replaced Mike Grant as the Nebraska quarterback. Mickey Joseph injured and unable to play, and then he was one of the 4 players suspended earlier in the week for this game. So originally he was going to be on the sideline in a jersey, but instead he is watching from the stand. 4 players broke some team rules earlier in the week, and Tom Osborne set them down. 1st and 10. Haas to throw it again. Wants Mitchell down the middle, and Mitchell goes up and makes a fabulous catch in traffic. There's the young man out of Chicago.
He is something. We've been talking about him. We've watched him in practice. We've watched him on other game tapes. He is a big man. He's a fast man, 4.5 and a 40. You'll see him coming off the tight end position right here, and he'll work down and get in between these 2 safeties right in here. Then he'll actually sort of fade to the right with the throw. Here he comes. He's working down. See the safety swilling number 1 started working up. Now he's out working to the left-hand side of your screen.
1st and 10 for Nebraska. The ball at the 35, and Haas hits Brown underneath. And he has a 7-yard gain on that play.
Tom Haas is growing and growing and growing by each play, gaining confidence. You know, he hadn't played any football. He's enjoying this.
Mitchell has caught 3 passes for 94 yards and 1 touchdown. This will be 2nd down and 3 for the Huskers. Soto, the fullback, has gone all the way. He is set in front of Brown. Turner coming in motion. Brown. He went 50 for a touchdown in the 1st half. Here he is getting a 1st down at the Tech 15-yard line. And still a solid 9 minutes on the clock. And here come the Cornhuskers again.
He finds those cutbacks. He really finds those cutbacks. If we take a look at this from the end zone, you'll note that he starts to the left, has vision to cut back to the right. Good job of blocking on the right side. See, he sees that hole. Defender on the right side coming upfield way too far. Linebacker pursuing out of there too quick, giving him the cutback.
10 carries, 94 yards. Now on 1st and 10. Haas dropping back, has time to throw over the middle, incomplete. And he wanted Turner near the goal line, and Swilling coming up with perhaps his best defensive play of the game.
He was there. Look how big he is for a safety. Here's Swilling pedaling out. He's settling, watching what's happening. Now he's reacting, moving buck inside there. When you run into him as a safety, you think, my gosh, who is that? It's got to be a linebacker.
You wouldn't think you'd know after he
after he hit you.
2nd down and 10 yards. That's the 1st incompletion this half by Haas. He completed 8 in a row before that one. Now it's 2nd down and 10. Haas off a fake. Now pitching out of bounds. Sort of botching up the option.
He wanted to throw the ball. He wanted to come down on the option pass. It wasn't there. He continued on down, turned it into an option run. Nebraska is one of the few teams that can really do that well. That's hard to do. You coming down the line, fake the run, think pass, you'll start to throw the pass, the defense will take it away, you turn it back into a run. Tough to do.
If they fail on this 3rd down, the Nebraska coaching staff has a decision to make. They are down by 17, and Tom Osborne will have to consider going for the touchdown or settling for the field goal. And Nebraska is 0 of 9 on 3rd down. Standing up, throws to the sideline, out of bounds. It is 4th and long. A field goal, if successful, would leave Nebraska within 14.
I think you go ahead and kick the field goal. They're not that great of, a throwing team right anyway. That's not their personality. Go ahead and kick the field goal. Then you're only 2 plays out of the ball game.
They're going to go. They've gone 25 times on 4th down this year, and they've been successful only 11.
Well, that's not too bad.
Here they come. And Oz will use a timeout. Doesn't like what he was looking at over there on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll take a break.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. They're coming, both outside backers coming. Here comes the safety, strong safety coming from the field. He didn't see him. There he is. Normally, in a sophisticated passing attack, you have keys that tell you to dump the ball off when you see the safety blitz.
Several times today, they have brought the safety on a delayed blitz from the outside. Never picked up.
That's tough to pick it up. What you normally do is dump it off.
Carl Lawson and Jeff Wright are in as running backs. And Georgia Tech now will see what they can do to the clock. 8:30 to go. 38-21. The Rambler Wreck with the lead.
The best thing they can do with the clock is do what they've been doing. Just move the ball and score. That's their offense. That's what makes it good.
An injured Yellow Jacket down on the field. You know, while we've got an opportunity to talk about Georgia Tech, I'm sure that a lot of youngsters watching this team think that it was a basketball power, and it's never been a football power. But under the legendary late Bobby Dodd, they were one of the best football schools in the Southeast for years. Very tough academic school, and now Bobby Ross and his assistants have done a fabulous job of recruiting some youngsters who can make it academically there, along with athletically.
And as good as this offense has been this year at 4,334 yards, the record is 4,557 yards from 1984. This is Darrell Jenkins coming off the field. He's the guy that's been battling all day long with Kenny Walker, and he had to play well for them to win the football game. Offensive line coach Pat Watson's got to be very proud of him.
2nd down and 12. Jones throws a strike for a 1st down. Just what you said. It went to Emmett Merchant.
Do what you do best. They have a very good offense. They do a lot of things with it. All the receivers catch the ball. All the running backs run it. They have many different formations. Just stick with that.
Another 16-yard gain. By the quarters, and the game went this way as Georgia Tech rambled out to a 21-0 lead before Nebraska struck for a couple of scores, then a field goal. In the second half, it's been a 14-7 advantage, Georgia Tech. Tied once this year, that by North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Running and working on the clock. Bell swinging free. He's open. He'll go.
Give me all 22 of that if you can. Petco, the linebacker, comes in and smacks him right there. He takes him on. Boom, he gets in, he gets a pad on him there. And watch this, safety hits him right there. He just keeps going. No one else wraps their arms around him. He just keeps running. He didn't hear a whistle. He just keeps on going. Excellent, excellent effort.
Wow. Extra point is added by Sisson after the 57-yard touchdown by William Bell. Button could not bring him down, and he spins free.
Watch this. We have to look at that again. That was so good. What that is, you know something, you don't coach that. That young man is born with that desire to excel. What a great effort. One of the best efforts I've seen in the last few years of doing college football. What a heart.
Well, you can vote against them as #1 if you want. but I wouldn't pass through Atlanta in the nearby future if you do. 45-21. Bell explodes for better than 120 yards.
That's against the defense that had been only given up 132 against the run, Brett. $23,500 tickets for this game were purchased by Georgia Tech fans, many of them up in the Atlanta area. They have driven the 7 hours for this game, and now they can feel it, that their Yellow Jackets are ever so close to winding up #1. Beyond anybody's expectations here this afternoon, they have exploded for 45 points in the face of Nebraska. It is 45-21. And you can count 2 and perhaps 3 first-round draft choices on that Nebraska defense. Walker, he could wind up in the first round. Kroll figures to go in the first round. Tyrants is a first-rounder. And Georgia Tech has done it all here today. 7.5 to go. Now Haas will see if he can rally the Cornhuskers and come up with another big play. Blindside pressure, gets this one off. Out of bounds. Bostic was working that far side. You know, no offense is really designed perfectly for major comebacks, but this style of offense, it's a lot tougher to come back when you're in a lot of tight formations, 3 backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends, 1 receiver. And Tom Osborne has coached different styles of offenses over the years, dependent upon his quarterbacks. I mean, Ferragamo, you know, good pro offense, pro quarterback. So he goes and does what his athletes do best.
2nd down and 10. This is Brown. It's about 6 yards. He'll lead them on about 3rd and 4, 5 yards to go.
Score from the Cotton Bowl in the 4th quarter. Miami 39, Texas 3.
The score from the Cotton Bowl was just announced by the PA announcer here in Orlando with Miami running it up on Texas. But remember, the Hurricanes have lost twice this year.
It won't be enough points to get him past this kind of performance.
He eludes Balcom this time, throws to Mitchell, who steps free, and Mitchell breaks across. He's a tight end. He's to the 27-yard line and down in a heap and saying, "Ah, shucks."
And he has the kind of speed he can keep on going. I noticed on the practice field, he's the kind of player that he's a young one, you know, a true freshman, and the veterans tease him a lot. The other day, he made enough mistakes on the practice field that the coaches had him running laps after practice, and they'd worked for 2.5 hours. Here he is. Now you can see the mobility and agility of this big guy.
If I'm a safety at Iowa State or Kansas State, I might think about transferring. He's a freshman. He's going to be great. He already is. He's a terrific player. 1st and 10. He's caught 4 passes for 125 yards and 1 touchdown. Haas now pulling straight back. He has Mitchell down the right side in the end zone. Goes for him, incomplete. It was well covered that time by Curly Day.
Flag on the field.
Holding is signaled against Nebraska.
Well, this is a Nebraska team which has experienced bowl difficulty over the last few years. They're going to lose here today in the Citrus Bowl to Georgia Tech. And they have lost their last 3 bowl games. They thought it was going to be easier escaping the state of Florida. Neither the Seminoles nor Miami. It was here in Orlando for this Citrus Bowl, but Tom Osborne and his staff ran into a buzzsaw here this afternoon, and it has been a very unhappy ending for a team that had visions of #1 itself.
As you look at those bowl game opponents, so you recognize they are playing 1, 2, or 3 best team in the country within those bowl games. Boy, anybody that can do what he has done for 18 years, average 9 wins, never win less than 9, and 10 times win 10 or more. And I It almost doesn't seem possible.
Here's Mitchell again. Brought down at the 30 by Clay. So this will leave Nebraska with a 3rd and 11 and 6:14.
Most points scored versus Nebraska in bowl game. 45.
And Bobby Ross was the architect. He's a man who is a very hands-on head coach. He pores over film himself. He is intimately involved in the game plans of the offense, defense, and the kicking team. The reason why Marv Levy wanted to come back into the NFL. This is a man who understands very much the art of football, and he has proved it here again this afternoon, as he did against Virginia. Let's go to Mark Jones. Mark?
Well, guys, the mood behind the Georgia Tech bench, very upbeat right now. They are going for the jugular. Sean Jones, quarterback for the Tech team, coming over to his offensive lineman and saying, guys, let's hang a $50 on these guys. They want more than 50. It's going to look impressive in the polls.
A $50.
Well, maybe someday they'll have a tournament and we won't have to worry about it.
You know, as we move around through this year, you run into coaches say, no, they're not interested. Toward the end of the year, you find more and more coaches saying, well, maybe we ought to work something out and have a playoff.
Tom Osborne among them. He's starting to change his tune. Incomplete. Wanted Brown. Now they go on this 4th down. Mitchell checks back into the Nebraska lineup. He and Turner. Bostic will be the receivers. They need to get to the 19-yard line for a 1st down. 5:41 to go. Straight back. Oz with his receivers covered has to take off, and he's going to be far short of that 1st down. Georgia Tech takes over.
Put off by Tiggle.
Alvin Tiggle making the hit. And coming your way next, it'll be the Rose Bowl from Pasadena. Washington, the Pac-10 champion. It'll be a happy return trip to Atlanta for those young men.
Oh, you bet.
And for them, tough trip back to Lincoln. They really didn't recover, did they, from that 4th quarter against Colorado?
They lost a little something, and they haven't been able to regain it back. Coaches felt they got some of it back in preparation.
We thought the defense was ready here, but they have given up 45 points to Georgia Tech. And Edwards checks in with his 1st carry, number 39.
You know, he was the starting running back. William Bell did not start the season as the 1st-string running back. T.J. Edwards did. He got banged up. Bell took over.
I would think that next year when they start talking about Heisman Trophy candidates, that quarterback Sean Jones of Georgia Tech will get more than a mention. There's more than one Sean at quarterback in the ACC. And that a Georgia Tech record, 459 yards. Off the fake, here comes Jones again, incomplete. He threw behind Rice.
Tyrone Bird covering defensively.
Nebraska has not given up that many yards yet this year.
Well, actually, Nebraska has gone beyond their average for the season. You know, this average for the season, 394, and here they are setting a record in a bowl game.
This is a young man who injured his elbow earlier this week, too. We should point out it was stiff a couple days ago, but then in the last 2 practices prior to the Citrus Bowl, he was in excellent shape. You get a whole lot of folks that agree with that right now. A dangerous play down here. In this
they're feeling they're very comfortable right now. They're going to go into the rest of the bag of tricks.
I guess that was in the game plan, so they figured they had to use it.
Might as well use it. It's something we haven't called. They said Bobby doesn't call the stuff himself. For example, like the defense, and the defensive coach was telling me, George O'Leary was saying one day, he'll walk over to you, get him stopped, get him stopped. He said, I'm doing everything I can, coach.
Wonder if they'll take a long safety in this situation. 45-21 here with 4 minutes to go. Probably
no,
not.
I don't
Nebraska
think so,
will come back after them.
They might take a penalty here to eat up some time, but they'll go ahead and punt. Ooh, they got hit.
They did. They drew the roughing. Bostic brought down. He fumbled. And it was whistled down.
That was Darryl Swilling, I think, number 51. Another Swilling.
Darryl Swilling, the tackler.
Here's the penalty. You cannot run into the kicker. He's strung out there. They bumped him. That's a penalty.
Nate Turner bumping him.
They'll just punt it again because that's just 5 yards. They didn't call roughing. That's just running into. What do we got here? Was it a turnover or was it not?
No, I think they whistled the ball down. They're marking it up there where the return was. Bostic returned the ball to the 33.
We have a 5-yard running into.
They may let him have it back there. Yeah.
It's declined.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what they're going to do. Yeah. And let Nebraska put it in play with 3:52 to go. A whole lot of folks can be proud of this Georgia Tech team this year. What a great year for Atlanta. How they wind up being named the future host of the Olympics. Basketball team gets into the Final Four from Georgia Tech. Somebody's got to get some pictures for the Braves. 1st and 10. Complete to Brown.
That's complete to Brown.
I'm really impressed with that young man. He has a great future.
And we should report that Kevin Battle is back in the middle of that defensive line. So that injury that he sustained, not serious, and he has returned to play.
He actually had that big muscle cramp. I'm sure that's what it was. You notice though nobody packed him off the field. They let him walk off. At 300 pounds, I guess they didn't want that challenge.
Second down now for Hawes. Fake to Brown, sprinting out, being pursued. He will not get it off. Another sack as Calvin Teagle gets that one, and it is the 4th time that they have sacked the Nebraska quarterback today.
Calvin Teagle came into the game with 3 sacks. They're not a team that commits the linebackers an awful lot. They use their outside people and Marco Coleman and Marlon Williams to do that, but that time they sent those guys.
The message is delivered by the Yellow Jackets here in Orlando. Hawes back. Stepping away from the pressure and across the line, and he'll go down at the 28-yard line. You know, Bobby Bowden was happy that Florida State would enter the ACC and not the Southeastern Conference. Bobby didn't want to have one of those neighborhood wars every week, but I'm not so sure that he's getting into an easy football conference the way things are going up in ACC land.
They're doing a good job. You know, and it's amazing when things are going well. You put in your back linebacker, 57, Eric Fry. He goes in. He's just played a little bit. He goes in. Boom. He makes the big play. Everybody's playing well.
On 4th down, they pull everybody up. 11 men were defending in case they faked and let them hunt it out of bounds. Stop the clock at 1.5 minutes. Well, Georgia Tech has done all they could do, and now they've left it up to the voters. And right now, let's check in with Keith Jackson at the Rose Bowl. It is Wright carrying the ball. The final seconds tick away here in Orlando.
Brent, there is absolutely no way that the voters can vote regardless of what happens. You know, there's just no way. To be fair and just and do it as the system has dictated in years past, they've got to vote these kids. You know, I didn't come into this ball game prepared to say that, really, because I felt coming into this ball game the best football team I saw all year was the University of Washington, and they still might be, and they might prove that today. Hayden Fry and those guys will do a good job, though. You know that. But this is a quality football team, and going by how they have done it in the past, I don't think they have a choice, and it's a good choice. Bobby
Georgia Tech coaching staff, we salute you. Look at Jenkins. Number 66.
So much agony for Tom Osborne, who has never won a national championship. He came so close in the Orange Bowl that night in that great game against Miami, going for the 2 at the end of the game, unable to get in. Howard Schnellenberger coming away with the title. And now Tom's defense giving up 45 points here today at Georgia Tech and Orlando. They have lost 3 of their last 4 games now to close out this bitterly disappointing season for the Cornhuskers. Here's the toss to right, and the final seconds countdown.
You know, I think Nebraska has the problem. They have such credibility in their football program that everybody that plays them a little better than they play anybody else at any other time.
These moments come once a lifetime. Enjoy them.
Boy, I'll tell you.
Georgia Tech 45, Nebraska 21. It's now up to the voters. They look like the #1, don't they? For Mark Jones and Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. So long for Orlando. The Rose Bowl is coming up next.
What about this game from the beginning today? Your kids stuck with it and got it done. We played very well. I thought we played very well, Jeff. Came out and really executed extremely well. You feel like you should be #1 now? Do you think there's any doubt about it? Well, I think we certainly done all we can do. I'll leave it up to the people, but I think we played very well today, deserving of it. When you guys went up 21 points, did you think it was over?
No, Nebraska's a dangerous football team. They can return a kick at any time. They can return a punt at any time.
Do you think there's any doubt that you guys should be #1 after this game?
No, not any doubt.
Back again live outside the Citrus Bowl with Emmett Merchant, who caught a touchdown pass, and Joe Sifri, the all-ACC offensive lineman. You guys are awfully calm right now. Has it sunk in what you've accomplished?
To me, it really hasn't. You know, I realize what it is, but I don't understand the magnitude right now. I think when I go out to the Bull Bowl party, I'll realize seeing all the fans' reaction.
What do you think it's going to be like in Atlanta?
I know they're going crazy right now. They need to go crazy. I mean, all year we used to hear about people downgrading our team and saying that we play a weak schedule. And, you know, today we proved it. You know, we went out there, we played a Big A school, and we literally did what we wanted to do.
You guys are going to be pulling big for Notre Dame tonight. You might as well start singing that Irish fight song. You know what? This is it. I was there. Georgia Tech 45, Nebraska 21. That says it all. I'm Jeff Rellinger, Channel 5, Eyewitness News outside the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. We'll hear from William Bell and more. Stay right
Cops and 3 watch officers. Atlanta police say they're on standby should students go on a celebratory rampage.
We just expect football to be
before the Huskers found out more than they wanted to know about the slithery sophomore. On the 4th play of the game, Jones buzzed 46 yards downfield, setting up the first Yellow Jacket touchdown and the tone for the afternoon ahead.
I expect myself to do it, you know. When they depended on me to get the first down, I kind of expect myself to do it.
He came out and done a great job for us. You know, he's so elusive and so great. He can run the ball and he can pass the ball. That's just so great for him. You know, he does that so well.
With 2,285 yards on the ground and in the air, Jones set a school single-season record for total offense.
Sean Jones is just a great football player. I mean, you know, a lot of people think, you know, they always talk about him being a great athlete, but I think Sean's a great thrower, too. And he can do every type of pass. He can run the drop-back game. He can run the play-action game. He reads extremely well. A big part of our game in the passing game is for him to understand our sequences, recognize the coverages, and go to the right guy.
For Jones and his teammates, this one is the icing on the cake, the capper of an undefeated season. But they probably won't really be able to enjoy it until tomorrow when the polls come out. At the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, I'm Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
Thank you, Mark. Miami coach Dennis Erickson said the Cotton Bowl was not the national title game, but the winner of the game would certainly have a say-so in who does win it all. The Hurricanes were considered a long shot to defend their national title, while the Longhorns were entertaining thoughts of a national championship as well. Their rallying cry
will go 91 yards, but watch the clip right there. There was a clip right there. Rocket goes 91 yards for the touchdown, but it is called back. They can't make anything happen, and the score holds up 10-9 the final. And just for you Georgia Tech fans, the last time there was a split vote was in '78 when Bama won the AP poll and USC the UPI, but it looks like Colorado this year. Let's go back to New Orleans and Al Michaels.
In here, in this hotel, when the Rocket ran that punt back in the last minute or so, it was an absolute madhouse. We've got some videotape, and apparently we're not going to be able to show it to you now. We do have the videotape, but I guess we're not going to show it to you now. We'll show it to you tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks very much, Jeff. Good work down there. Now, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets will arrive back at Bobby Dodd Stadium at about 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. They'll fly in a chartered flight into the airport, but airport officials are asking us to please have everyone come to the stadium to meet the team at about 12:30. So, that's the story right now. Will Georgia Tech be #1 in the nation? We're going to have to wait one more day. I'm Bill Hartman.
Who is John? The episode remained ugly only for a short time.
We had to have the goalpost. We're #1, undefeated champions. We had to have it. The cops were covering it. We had to make a rush for it, and we did. It's tradition. It's tradition.
Describe again the passion that it takes to risk injury and arrest and everything else to do it.
I don't know. It just had to be done. It was there. It was there, right? You've heard that before. It had to be done.
All right, and you know, they took those goalposts and drug them all over Orlando. I mean, these people felt strongly about it. I've got to stress that the security people really did laugh about that later on after it was all over. And it's just, I think Atlanta folks have spent enough money here in Orlando to pay for the goalposts. Frankly, I don't think any real harm was done. All right, you take it away with the sports side.
Well, the one thing I have to comment about is it was really the pinnacle today of football's greatest turnaround in 3 seasons that the country maybe has ever seen. Georgia Tech coming from so far behind 3 seasons ago, 4 seasons ago, and to go undefeated in a season was quite a miraculous feat, and they have a lot to be proud of, even if they aren't voted #1 by the media. I have a feeling, though, that coaches might have Georgia Tech pretty close to #1, if not #1, but that's just a feeling. Today's defense, well, there was only 90 seconds of concern, really. You saw sacks by Balcom, by Marlon Williams, by Battle, a big fumble recovery, which Bobby Ross said was the turning point of the game by Jay Martin. Great punting by Tony Garrity in a backup role, and then a tremendous, tremendous offense. Here's one of the big plays of that game, the 57-yard touchdown run by William Bell. Bell had 127 yards in the game. Tech averaged 7 yards per play in offense. And it was just a fantastic performance. The man next to me right now, Sean Jones. And Sean, you got 467 yards against a very respectable Nebraska ball club.
I think I credit our offensive line. They set the tone, and they blocked real well. They kept the guys out of the backfield and gave me the time to throw the ball, gave William Bell the holes to run through, and I think just because they played so well, we were able to play well.
Congratulations on your Most Valuable Player award for the bowl game. What do you think now about this #1 situation, Sean?
Well, I mean, I feel that we should be #1. I mean, we're only the undefeated team in 1A, one Division A, and it's out of our hands. You know, Colorado won, and you know, it's like I said, it's out of our hands. Nothing we can do about it.
Nevertheless, a great undefeated season, and congratulations, Sean Jones, and your leadership. And it's going to be good to see you back once again.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for taking time out away from your friends.
All right, thank
now
you.
to Martha Sharon with an Orange Bowl watching little party out there, Sharon.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been fairly quiet in Atlanta today. I think most of the Georgia Tech fans are in Orlando with their team. But of the ones who stayed behind, they say they're very proud of Georgia Tech's record this year and certainly watched the Orange Bowl with great anticipation, hoping that Notre Dame would clobber Colorado and give Georgia Tech a sure shot at the national title. They understand what it would mean for the school.
I think it helped the recruiting.
I believe Georgia Tech basketball's done great and shown that athletics as well as academics can do great. And now I think the football's coming back with that and giving Georgia Tech the spotlight they deserve.
Georgia's always gotten the spotlight, and it's always been Georgia Tech trying to build, and this finally their chance to be in the spotlight.
And that spotlight could translate into money. For example, the school hopes that it will increase ticket sales, and certainly the national title would go a long way towards doing that. John?
And Martha, really a touch of irony today in this victory by Georgia Tech.
Yes, that's right. As I understand it, it was 10 years ago today that Georgia won the national title, battling Notre Dame. And this year, of course, we're hoping that Georgia Tech wins that title.
All right, Martha.
And as for Charles Johnson, who comes in place of Darian Hagan, this is also the guy who scored the touchdown on the 5th down controversy at Missouri.
5th down. Mike Godfrey, do you think, as we consider who is the #1 team in the country, people are still going to wonder about this tomorrow when they mark those ballots in the Associated Press? I mean, life is full of small ironies, and Johnson, as Dan mentioned, the same guy who scores his touchdown eventually, did a marvelous job in a backup role tonight. Is this going to be a factor?
No. It's an official's mistake, and again, both teams were penalized. If Colorado would have known it was a 4th down situation, they would have never grounded the ball, they would have ran that option play, so they would have scored. So if you take every ball game where an official's call, and I know it's an extra down, but they affect every game.
As we sit here, is Colorado the #1 team in the country? Are they the best team in the country? Or are those two separate things?
Well, I think they're the #1 team in the country. I think they're playing the best right now. They beat 6 teams that played on January 1st. Now, you can make an argument for Georgia Tech, too. I think they're the only 2 teams you really can make an argument for, because I think where they stood and going into today, they're the only 2 teams. But I do believe Colorado's #1.
All right, we will try to get some input from some other folks. We will go to Miami. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso down there, and they can answer the question. Is Colorado #1? Take it away, guys.
Lee, what do you think? Is Colorado #1?
Absolutely. Georgia Tech's a fine football team, but Georgia Tech has probably never beat a better football team than Notre Dame, and Colorado beat them tonight.
And Colorado comes into this game with a pretty healthy margin as far as first-place votes of the AP poll. It was 42-16 in the final regular season poll. Never has the #1 team won a bowl game and then dropped. Lee, this was not a game that was pretty to look at. Some mistakes, but some tough football by both sides right down to the last play.
I think the difference between the 2 teams, and especially between Colorado of last year and this year, was their intensity. Boy, they played tough. Notre Dame kept pinning them back in field position in the 4th quarter. They kept fighting back, and they won the ball game. Tonight, Colorado showed why they were #1. They came from behind to beat a fine Notre Dame football team.
Colorado survived some injuries. Canavis McGee, their fine linebacker, went out with a shoulder injury. Eric Bieniemy played much of the game on a tender ankle. And, of course, Darian Hagan, the star quarterback, went down with a torn tendon in his left knee. And that left things up to backup quarterback Charles Johnson. As we see Hagan there with a bandaged knee, he did return and watch the second half on crutches. But Charles Johnson, the quarterback that led Colorado on their winning touchdown drive on the victory over Missouri, the drive that culminated in that 5th down play, but still, he had never been in a moment like this, Lee. A backup quarterback coming in wins the national championship.
And I think the play that probably did it for him was 3rd down about 17, and he threw an 18-yard shot in the corner. Hagan never threw a pass that good.
That was the best throw of the night for the Colorado side. They started off Johnson very slowly, ran the fullback a lot when he first came in there. Then they opened up when they had to, and Johnson was there when he had to be with the on-target throw that set up a touchdown.
Well, the thing I like about him is that McCartney used him smart. He didn't use him too much, threw the ball right there. Now, that was a great call because it was 2nd down at about 2 inches, and he faked the ball to a run and let Johnson throw it out to the tight end. Excellent call by Bill McCartney.
Of course, late in the ball game when Notre Dame trailing 10-9, Colorado's hearts were stopped by the Rocket as he dropped back to receive that punt. It's at his 10-yard line. Everybody in the stadium knew that this was the kind of moment the Rocket lives for, and he did respond with a 91-yard punt return. However, it was called back by a clipping penalty, a call obviously not popular with Notre Dame fans and coaches. As we see Rocket running down the sideline right there.
And right there is the clip. He comes from behind. He didn't see the numbers. He put his head in front of him, but got his body behind him. Now, Rocket, 7 men from Colorado hit him on that play, and he went all the way for a touchdown. I agree with that guy that said one time in the paper, the most electrifying player I've ever seen in my life. The guy's unbelievable.
The replay right there. Was that a clip, do you think?
Absolutely. It was a clip because he got his head in front, but his shoulder was on the back of the numbers.
Okay, has to be a gratifying win for Colorado coach Bill McCartney. He takes losses as hard as anyone. It's been a long, rocky road for him at Colorado, but after he has apparently, we have to say apparently, won a national championship, the first in the 100-year history of Colorado, had a chance to talk to him just a few minutes ago. Your reaction to an apparent national championship?
I can't put it in words, but I couldn't be prouder of our kids. We fought back. We lost Hagan. We showed a lot of grit on both sides of the ball. You hold Notre Dame to 9 points, you've done something.
Charles Johnson, a backup, never been in a moment like this to come in and win a title.
Charles Johnson was sensational, and he's very deserving of this kind of...
Will you sweat out the poll to see what the voters say about Georgia Tech?
No, because I believe historically, if you're number one and you win and you beat a team the caliber of Notre Dame, you deserve the championship.
Congratulations. He's right about that historically, but still Georgia Tech with a convincing victory, and I think a lot of people are going to have to sweat out the poll. Now, for Notre Dame, the guy who played maybe the best game of all, Chris Zorich, the All-American nose tackle, still nowhere near 100% lead, but he was flying around the football.
I've been coaching football for 30 years, and I don't think I've ever seen a more competitive football player than Chris Zorich. To me, he symbolizes Notre Dame football, college football, and everything wrapped up. He's got both legs hurt. He's banged up. He gets knocked out. He comes back in. I've never seen a performance like Chris Zorich gave tonight.
And you had a chance to talk to him after the game.
I think he didn't talk too much, but the guy was physically exhausted. But we sat on the end of the sideline, and we talked a little bit. And I talked to him about the fact that, you know, he was a great football player, and he was hurt. But the thing I liked about him the most, he took the loss hard. Every bit of energy he had in his whole body was out on that football field. There was nothing left for Chris Zorich.
Here's Zorich's reaction after the game with Lee.
I want to say one thing before I go. I got to get you on camera now. Are you all right? Your legs a little bit better?
I'm fine, sir.
You seem like you're cramped up a lot out there. It's just the heat got you.
Thank you for your attendance.
Now, I know you're disappointed, but you had a great career. As I said to you, I've been coaching 30 years, and I don't think I've ever seen a better football player as a better than you. I want to just congratulate you. Okay? Good luck to you in the future.
Thank you, sir.
You're a great competitor. You're an honor to college football. I tell you what, you're the best I've seen in a long time. Okay? God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
The end of Chris Zorich's college football career is a sad one, but he has nothing to be ashamed of. I want to bring in, once again, Mike Gottfried from our ESPN headquarters and ask you, Mike, are you surprised by the low-scoring nature of this football game? Explosive guys on both sides of the football. We've seen high-scoring games throughout the bowls. This is not one of them.
Well, two things. In 1984, Bill McCartney was 1-10, and he's brought this team to a national championship. Second thing, Lee, I can't help but think that the loss of the two coordinators had some effect on this ball game. It just didn't seem like the offenses were in sync, and I believe it's because of the loss of those two coordinators.
Well, I think the difference from the neck up, as McCartney had talked about all week long, his team has matured. It's tough. They've had to go to the well many times, come from behind, and I think that was the overriding factor.
Also, I think he worked them better this year. Mike, he didn't leave the game on the practice field. They had everything they needed on the fourth quarter, and as you know, sometimes you work them so hard to leave it on the practice field. He had enough in the fourth quarter to beat Notre Dame.
Okay, Dan, Bobby, we'll have to wait to see for sure until the AP poll is released late tomorrow morning. We're back with more from Miami in just a little bit.
Okay, thanks. We also had a chance this evening to spend the evening with Georgia Tech as they watched that game. They feel certainly they've got a very strong claim on number one. In just a second, we will hear the reactions to that 10-9 victory for Colorado. Was it close enough to sway some more votes over to Tech? They might think that way.
Maybe a split vote involved in this. We will come back. We will show you highlights of the Sugar Bowl. Virginia, Sean Moore was back at the helm. They took on a dangerous Tennessee team. We'll bring you the highlights when we return after this.
Set all the way out to the right. Harper comes in motion. Kelly rolls that way, tries to find the open man in the back of the end zone. It's Pickens, and the pass is incomplete. Covering on the play was Jason Wallace. Tennessee already celebrating. But still 31 seconds remain, and all Virginia has to do is somehow get the ball in field goal range, down by a point. And Jake McInerney, their field goal kicker, has hit one from 51 yards this year.
But again, we'll go back to the fact that Sean Moore has not been able to throw the ball like he could before that thumb injury. And
as he did during the early part of the season, the 26-yard line and one back to the 30. In the final game of the season, it was a loss to Virginia Tech, but he's not like Blunden has not done a lot of work. He's taken a lot of snaps because they weren't 2nd and 10. Blunden nearly.
And tonight,
given the current.
At the 30-yard line by Chris Mims with 10 seconds remaining. The Cavs have one timeout, and they have to take.
Of course, given the current attitude toward reform and with the college presidents and college athletics, I would think it's doubtful we're going to see it in the near-term future.
Well, I think we'll see it in 5 years because of the money factor to help colleges, and if they would you
fans, Georgia Tech is the #1 team in the country. And tonight, the coaches poll agrees. By 1 vote, UPI picks Tech #1 and Colorado #2.
I'm very happy. You know, we deserve to be #1 no matter what anyone says. Our record stands for itself. I'm real happy about the decision.
When the team returned to Atlanta today, hundreds of fans greeted them with a hero's welcome. Mayor Maynard Jackson met the team bus and proclaimed today Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets football team day. Then he took a shot at the Associated Press poll, which selected Colorado #1 earlier in the day.
Colorado barely squeaked by, and Tech, by the same token, mastered its opponent and had a great victory in the Citrus Bowl. Operates in as tough a conference as any in this country. In my opinion, without question, Tech is #1 by any measure.
Here's a message to AP UPI. Do the right thing or to hell with you too.
If they would give us 5 downs, we could have beaten North Carolina.
Before the UPI poll, the Tech team felt it had been cheated out of a national championship. A victory over Nebraska in the Citrus Bowl, no losses, 1 tie, a dream season.
We're still the only undefeated team in one Division A, and you know, to me, I think we should be national champs.
We went out and did what we had to do. We won the game.
I believe firmly that we would be able to beat Colorado.
So, who is #1? Tonight, there is no question among Tech fans. George Bryant, Channel 46, News at 10.
And we'll have more on Georgia Tech's victory tonight in this newscast. But
the real question is, should there be a national championship playoff?
Yes.
Of course, that's the answer. It sure is, and Bobby Ross agrees. He did before this week. It's a split decision. Georgia Tech is voted #1 in the United Press coaches poll. Colorado is voted #1 in the Associated Press reporters poll. In the coaches poll, unbeaten Georgia Tech clips Colorado by a single vote. In the media poll, Colorado receives 39 first-place votes, 20 for the Yellow Jackets, 34 votes overall in the AP poll, separating the two schools. In fairness, Colorado played the toughest schedule in the nation. What's unfair is that reporters failed to update their perception of ACC football. They still see it the way it was before Ross molded Tech, George Welsh improved Virginia, and Dick Sheridan did the same at North Carolina State. That antiquated thinking is what cost Georgia Tech a well-deserved national championship. The Yellow Jackets return to Bobby Dodd Stadium this afternoon after lunchtime. The reception mixed with celebration and some disappointment. This was before the coaches poll was released about 4 hours later. From Orlando, Coach Ross visited his ailing mother in Virginia, but Bobby arrived at Hartsfield within the hour. And here is his reaction to the day's events.
That at the end we really deserved it, to be very honest with you, and I'm glad that they would recognize that and grant us that award. I felt like that, you know, with Colorado having been one going into the bowl game, and after they won, that it was probably going to be pretty tough to do. But I guess we turned quite a few around votes-wise, even in the other poll. But I'm very pleased and excited about it, and I know our players have got to be just elated now, because I think it became very important to them too when it was all over with.
In Colorado's season, they survived a last-second tie with Tennessee, a 5th down against Missouri, and this bad call. Look at the official top of the screen. He's right there. He doesn't make the call. The one in front of the play does. Should have never happened. Well, at a pep rally in Boulder today, this was reaction.
Would have punted that ball to Ishmael at the end of the game. Well, that was my decision. When I saw that flag fly, I became very patriotic.
Just happy to be back with the Citrus Bowl championship.
Colorado came in #1. They won. I don't see no reason why they should fall down.
We deserve to be #1. We played the hardest schedule. We deserve to be #1. Can't be beaten, baby.
Coaches do not agree with George Hemingway or Rocket Ismail. Do, of course, agree with the Jackets players. Leo, I want to ask you about the flag on Rocket's punt return for a touchdown. Would that be a factor in the coaches' voting? We know how much they don't like the yellow hankies.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the 5th down. I don't think the flag. I don't think Notre Dame. I don't think anything except the fact that they saw Georgia Tech destroy Nebraska. That did it.
Okay, Tom, I agree with you. I also don't think that the 5th down was a controversy, or the 5th down controversy, rather, was a factor because it wasn't going into the bowl game.
Final question, Chris, for you and Lee. Will this split national title they have now this year, will this hasten the day we have a national championship playoff to end all this bickering once and for all?
Well, I think it could because it helped shape public opinion. We have both called for a playoff all year long, really, and I think Bill McCartney even agreed the only way to decide it is to play it off. He then turned around, though, and said, Lee, that it's hard to work out the details and make a playoff workable.
Well, my plan has always been a championship game, not a playoff. 2 teams, Georgia Tech, Colorado, a week from Saturday in Miami. Then they'll find out who the best team is.
You know what? Tom. You know what? I like that idea. You might get a TV network interested. It's so simple. We'll see about that. All right. Thank you very much. Chris Fowler and Lee Corso live from Miami with the exclamation point to a real odd but interesting story today, a split national title in college football. Colorado and Georgia Tech both have a piece of the rock. With the excitement of the New Year's Day Bowls behind us, the NFL playoffs loom just ahead. That's right. When SportsCenter returns, a look at the plays of the year in the National Football League with some plays you may not believe, even though you're seeing them for the 2nd or the 3rd time. But first, a look at the final Associated Press college football top 25 poll. AP thinks Colorado is #1. UPI voted for Georgia Tech.
Okay. And then have a college Super Bowl to
and it would be the biggest money-grossing event, sports event. It would surpass I believe it would surpass the Super Bowl.
And they could play it in our new dome.
Well, soiled uniform told the story. 10 tackles, 1 sack. Stunting charges that disrupted Colorado's attack all night. Zorich, a most deserving choice as Notre Dame's Orange Bowl MVP.